platforms that they're on. And even my wife now works at Johns Hopkins Hospital, and she does medical review. And medical review is chart auditing. The main function of medical review is making sure the hospital gets paid by insurance companies. They're on 3 different systems, and the insurance companies have their own systems. It is unbelievable how Byzantine the whole process is.
It also reminds me of how, like, you know how all the 3-letter agencies, like, if they all pooled their information together, we would have known about 9/11. They had all the individual puzzle pieces, but they couldn't solve it because they didn't have access to it. That kind of reminds me of the healthcare system in terms of...
Yes, they're all siloed. And the other problem with the healthcare system, go ask your provider if you're going to have a procedure done, how much it's going to cost. They can't tell you.
That's true. Well, this has been a fun conversation. You've been a wealth of knowledge, man. And if you're not worth like tens of millions of dollars, there's no hope for happiness. Like it would, like I'm hoping that you're incredibly wealthy, because if you're not, then I have no chance.
I'm not Jeff wealthy, but I do okay.
I'm not even Jeff wealthy, but I do okay. You know, it's funny though. I made the same amount of money every year for the last 10 years. Hey, Tika. Hey, Beth.
Hello.
What are you doing up so late?
Nothing special. I'm in the late. I can't sleep. I was watching. This room still up. Well,
Are you guys like a work team?
And there's not a single documented piece of evidence about the rapes.
yeah.
I can't believe
God.
that. Like the way that they lead us. Dude, there's people arguing to this day on this app that people were raped.
I think I heard somebody say that they put babies in ovens, even that, like, which is something that they did to the Palestinians in their massacres that are documented by them.
Here's what they do have. They have 38 witnesses that testified to there being rapes.
The Jews?
Yeah, the Jews have 38 witnesses that testified to being to hiding and witnessing Palestinians rape.
Okay.
A few of those had contradictory, like their testimony contradicted other stuff. But like, what I can't believe is like they had pictures of other things when they were hiding. Why wouldn't they take a photo of that?
Yeah, and I'm not. And if there's like 38 witnesses, and I don't know what report was read to you, but it's like, okay, you have people that clearly did things that they shouldn't have done. However, if you're raping within your prison system as a method of torture and that's systemic, is it equal playing field? If one is like sanctioned by the state and the other one is just random Palestinians that is not sanctioned by Hamas, where Hamas is like making it very clear that this is against our principles?
Yeah.
And not only that, they're raping men. Like
right.
They're putting instruments in men. And
broomsticks and shit.
Rest of the
broomsticks.
Yeah, it's like the one that everybody was rioting over. That's one thing, but this Dr. Adnan Borsh that was just released a few days ago, who died in April. The fact that they haven't released his body to me is also very telling. Why haven't you given the family his body back? It's been since April.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. And my Christian women. So.
Not all of them.
But it's like, if it was a dish, it would be like French cuisine for you.
I don't get it.
Amongst women, you consider it the highest delicacy. It's like caviar.
French cuisine is good.
It's considered the best.
Oh,
Yeah, well, what did you think is the best type of food in the world?
something Italian.
Italian is good, but I mean,
It's not.
you have to understand.
It's not top tier, right? It's like Italian is
I don't care.
amazing. You know, it was funny. We're actually looking that up recently. My county was the least affected because we're the British motherfucker.
Least effective
See,
at what?
apparently they
Potato
updated GPT-4.
Dude, 1 million people, 1 to 2 million people died, and these fucking Jews have the goddamn audacity to cry about their fucking holidays. Oh, hey, Joy. Hey.
For some reason, I thought that this Joy was Edmund, but I think it's the real Joy.
Is it the real Joy?
But they added me, like fucking read.
No, I thought it was Edmund.
I prefer
Oh, is that
Is he moving around, actually? Is he?
Oh, he's hiding in a different form of Clubhouse, but he's still live and streaming.
Would he just get burnt out on being mean?
I think so.
He's a moth to the flame.
I get notifications of his YouTube videos sometimes,
Yeah.
and he's making shorts now
Oh my god.
where he's lip syncing.
He's live streaming right now, so totally. Yeah, that's
True.
his motherfucker. Hey, he's in
It is Edmund.
It is. I'm looking at it right now. Fucking faggot.
Oh, Joy. That's his YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
that's why I thought it was Edmund.
But he's literally got Joy, like, I'm a fucking singer-songwriter, blah, blah, blah. It's literally it. Fucking faggot.
I knew it was him. That's why I was like trying to.
Put it in
I doubted myself. I was like, maybe it's the
Don't
real
tell her.
Joy.
But he's just left it streaming. Yeah, like he's just fucked off.
He's a relentless motherfucker. We're lucky to know someone like that. Relentless.
Amazing. So you're just gonna let them fucking live stream?
You want me to kick him?
No. Let's just like have a this discussion. Let's write minutes and timestamps as well. Minutes of the meeting.
Do you hear it? Maybe you want me to kick him. I can kick him.
Obscene amount of wealth. Like I'm talking about people who have made like 5 to like 20. Like
Okay. That's fine. How many of that, and in your experience, when you talk to them without you asking the question, do they use the phrase generational wealth, or are they too busy making money?
Oh, the phrase generational wealth? No, like yeah, but like when I was
So
young.
that's my point. Anyone who's going to spend time writing a book,
No, that I
talking
agree
about generational wealth and talking to a bunch of losers
That
about how to do it.
100% agree with. 100% agree with. I'm just saying that like I grew up in a fairly heavily immigrant community. Like 95% of my friends had immigrant parents like me, and we did talk like at young age.
How far did you go with these kids I'm taking care of?
No, you're not doing any of that.
No.
Well, I can help you. I just told you I'm a struggling American, so there's nothing I can do. I told you the best thing to do. Come across the border illegally, get those.
Some fraction of them that'll reach the exact opposite conclusion as what you're putting in front of them, and it might actually generate anti-Semites. That is a possibility, at least if you believe in the unity of our.
That's great. I'm going to get the book. Thank you.
It's interesting. Like, I guess I always looked at it differently because, like, my grandfather fought in World War too. It's like we always looked at it as like it was a German thing. It was like I never felt like, oh, we did it or we did anything. So I don't know.
No, I think that you're onto something. The leftists in America, their narrative is the dominant culture should feel guilty, right? Like the reality is that America has done so many good things for the world. America rescued the world from the Nazis and from all kinds of evils. But all leftists in America, they just have to shit on America and say America sucks, because the core of the leftist self-identity, right, is leftists want to feel like they're morally superior to the rest of Americans. So anytime you talk to a leftist, basically the unspoken subtext of all conversations with leftists is, as a leftist, I'm morally superior to you. You are human garbage. I'm better than you. I'm going to prove I'm better to you. Let's talk about our political opinions. And they'll poke and prod to find some political opinion that you have where they say, I've just proven you're a racist scumbag piece of shit because da-da-da-da-da. And see, what's really interesting about that, Pepe, is let's imagine society gives all the leftists everything they want, right? Like, let's say leftists want 1 million impoverished immigrants a year, and they want to double welfare, and they want to give out free drugs. Like, every single thing on the list, leftists can never be satisfied, right? Because if they get everything they want, if society agrees with the leftists on everything they want, then there's no point in differentiating. There's no way. So leftists have to move the goalpost. So I don't want to be disgusting, but like, let's say that the leftists want 50 million impoverished immigrants a year, and the leftists say, let in 50 million impoverished immigrants, give them enough welfare so they can all get a Mercedes and a mansion. And let's just say magically America gives it. America lets in. The leftists would immediately start screaming and crying and saying,
we need 100 million. Now we need 100 million.
Yeah, they would say you have to give them more money, and you're racist if you don't give the immigrants a Ferrari. You're racist, right? Like there's nothing that society could do. It doesn't matter how generous and loving and altruistic our society gets. Leftists are going to have to keep raising their demands because demands are what they live on. Okay, I'm eager to hear other people criticize my view, but that is.
Well, okay, the two things. One of them you talked about, okay, like, you hate where you come from. It's called oikophobia, and that's actually a book that's just been written not too long ago. And you also talked about, like, these silly white liberals that, like, want to feel morally superior. That's called, like, a luxury belief. And it's been talked about before, but most recently it was written about by Rob Henson. Okay, and it's in a book called Troubled. And so he was a guy, half Asian, half Mexican guy, and he went to Ivy League schools. So make a long story short, he went to school with these Ivy League institutions with these white people who had never seen a black person before. Okay, and so the idea of having this belief is not that they believe it. It's more like, what does it say about you to believe it? That's point number one. And point number two, if you ever have people like that go out and live in the real world, they quickly get disabused of like these silly notions. The only people that have like these dreamy ideas about, let's say, black people in particular, are the ones that have never worked with them. But then if you work in like a factory or an office somewhere with them, or you interact with them on there every day, you become a lot more humble about your assessments of what the situation are. That's what I could say.
Well, I just followed you. I've never met anyone else on Clubhouse who has used the word oikophobia, and it's one of my favorite words, so thank you for using that word. I had an example in my own life that shocked me. Even as a person who thought they understood liberals, it shocked me. So I had a bunch of friends that live in Oakland, right? And there was a beloved local baker. This baker, she happened to be an extreme leftist herself, right? And one of the local teenagers came in and murdered her. And I think the murder was caught on camera, and there was no doubt that this local teen had murdered her. Well, the leftist community of Oakland said, oh, you have to let him go because he's a marginalized person. He's an oppressed person. It's not good to put murderers in jail. If a murderer is from an oppressed group, you can't punish him. And the leftists, this is really interesting, the leftists went to the murder victim's family and said, you have to help us get the murderer set free. If you don't help this murderer go free, you're not a good leftist. You're going to be kicked out of all the leftist groups. And then they went to the friends of the murder victim and said the same thing. And you would think that out of loyalty to their family member, their friend, the leftists would say, oh, this is the exception to the rule. You put this guy in prison. But no, their loyalty to leftism was greater than their loyalty to the murder victim. So from the articles I read, the friends and the family members of murder victim, they went to the district attorney and begged for the murderer to be set free because leftism was more important than their family member. Now, you may think I'm exaggerating, Lee, but I'm going to post some links in the room chat so you can see it. This is
do you ever seen
No, I know just what you're talking about. And he was sentenced to 7 years for manslaughter, actually.
There's actually, they've done studies on this. So when it comes to the real difference between like right-wing and left-wing people, one of the big ones is that right-wing people will generally, so it's like who they tend to value, and it will be like a bunch of like circles.
Yes, concentric loyalty is what you're talking about. Concentric.
Yes. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Where basically there's, I mean, my brain isn't quite wired that way, so I just don't understand it.
Value system. It's not even. It's just a different value system. So basically, left-wing people, they favor the out-group. So, in other words, it's just basically very often, if a member of the out-group, if a quote oppressed person murders their friends and family, the leftists are on the side of the murderer. I don't think that ever happens among conservatives. But you could read the shit in the.
The theory of moral sentiments. I think that it's a guy named Jonathan Haidt that does a lot about that.
Yeah.
And one of his best books that he wrote was about that. But honestly, I mean, if you see societies like, let's say, China, okay, one of the very first emperor in China, he had like an intellectual class, and they were telling him things that he didn't want to hear. Like what a lot of intellectuals will do. So what he did was he just executed all of them at one time. Every single one of them. It was like 400 people. He just picked them up and executed them. And that's set the precedent for China for like the last 2,300 years since that first emperor. But you do wonder if you see a place like the United States now where you have academics and these guys like run amok and they create a whole bunch of destruction and nobody steps in and checks them. I wonder if Chinese people had the right idea. It's called burn the books and bury the scholars. That's what the proverb is.
I respect very much. I think that as part of that movement, China was exploring the world, and China was set to colonize the world. And if China had continued on that path, we'd all be speaking Chinese now. China would have conquered our hemisphere first. From the books that I've read, China had these giant ships, and it was advancing. And in addition to killing the intellectuals, he burned the Chinese merchant fleet. He closed China off to the outside world.
That's two different things. You're talking about the Ming Dynasty.
Okay,
and they had like
I'm totally wrong.
It's during the Ming Dynasty, which was from 1368 to I think 1644. And so it was a eunuch. His name was Zheng He, and he set up a whole bunch of ships to go around to other places, and he brought back artifacts from those things. And so when the government got a hold of it, they just burned all of it, so they didn't want to be bothered. The one that I'm talking about, Chen Shuang, he was like in the 2nd century before the Common Era. So he was about 1,500 years before the Ming Dynasty, 1,600 years. That was the first Chinese dynasty, and when he had unproductive intellectuals, he's like, this is not helping. He just executed all of them.
Well, you're much more learned than I am. My preference is for all the intellectuals to be allowed to live and continue their work. I value the work of intellectuals. I even value the work of leftist intellectuals. I just don't want them dominating our society. I would hope we could have some compromise where maybe the leftist intellectuals get to control Berkeley and Northern California and maybe not the whole country.
Two birds.
Well, in any case, I mean, if you read like books about like intellectuals in society or about like Paul Johnson's intellectuals, whenever you have something stupid get started, it always starts with a bunch of people talking about something, and then it spins out of control in all these terrible, unpredictable ways. So I think I was reading a book about communism called Heaven on Earth, and it was saying that if the first people who started talking about communism, they're like, if the room had caved in on that roof, then the movement never would have happened because it had to start talking, or it had to be started being talked about by this certain set of people. So, and China is still with us here after 23 centuries and about 1,860 different famines.
Well, I agree with all the facts you laid out, but I would respectfully come to a different conclusion. It is true that intellectuals invented communism, and communism did kill 100 million people. I grant you that. However, intellectuals have found a lot of worthwhile things over the years. And so I kind of feel like in my preferred world, we have intellectuals. Some of their ideas suck, some of them are good, but they're allowed to live and present their ideas.
I think that's the takeaway there with unity of opposites. The more you talk about something, then you'll create it as exact opposite. So, all of this like DEI garbage, that's what got votes for Donald Trump. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out over like the next 4 years. Because in that book that I mentioned earlier, the Yasha Monk book, he said that when Donald Trump ran the first time, he's like left-wing people, they turned on each other because they did, they devoured each other alive. And that has happened before in other situations.
Well, I mean, in the past, I believe the Democratic Party in the recent past has been an alliance of two groups, right? It's been an alliance of working class people that just wanted a better economic deal, and intellectuals who wanted to change society in a leftist way. Now, what I believe happened in this election is the two groups started to hate each other, right? The intellectuals pushed things too far, and a huge percentage of workers of all races and all religions said, we don't want to be in an alliance with intellectuals anymore. The intellectuals, they're just too freaky. So I think the Democratic Party has cleaved apart, and
I think, can I offer?
Yeah, of course. Let me silence myself for a woman. Absolutely.
Just for like 2 seconds. I think that it wasn't the working class and intellectuals. It was liberals, socialists, and overall Marxists that aligned themselves together.
What the fuck
and
was
the
that?
liberals and the Marxists.
House, so 7 people in the house and only 3 bedrooms. And they would sleep on the floor. They would sleep on the couch. Like one of the brothers would sleep on the floor in the kitchen on a cardboard box.
On a cardboard box.
Yeah, I mean, he was literally high. He was high all the time, so I guess he didn't feel it. But that was his spot.
You couldn't find a blanket?
I don't know,
it rains. How do I feel when it rains?
Yeah, do you go in this hierarchy of vibe? Is that something that's naturally that you always naturally enjoyed, or is it something that involved kind of with the process? Because you probably have so much peace and comfort associated to that specific sound or that vibrance or that feel.
No, it's about letting go. It's a letting go of your thoughts. You kind of dissolve whatever you think you are, dissolves in the sound of the rain. And then from there, you're just not even yourself anymore. You're nothing. You're just existing. It's a way of getting away from who you think you are. If that makes any sense. And what Proof said, I've done that as well. Meditating from the bonfire opens all your nerves and you'll breathe well. Yes, I've done that as well. I can account for that.
Oh, I actually practice fire therapy. It's a yogic practice called Homa or Agnihotra. I was trained to do it in India. I can teach the technique, give you all the information you need to know for it, and it magnifies your mantra. It helps to bring up the prana of the mantra even more, and more it magnetizes it. It works faster on cleansing your aura and all that good stuff, which is really useful if you're a sex worker or do anything that has to one contact with people. like I do with Mossad.
Double. Who knows?
And I want to share a mantra in the
Who knows the truth?
chat. It's a really good one that I think would be absolutely wonderful to do the full breath to. There we go. I'm counting a little bit because I'm getting sweaty on the scare vibrant thing.
I'm looking at your page.
Oh, my website?
No, your Instagram.
Oh. Yeah, the first two images of the bendy girl is not me. I've pissed people off by admitting it's not me. Like they'd be happier to have their fantasies that it's me. But, oh, she's so bendy. I was like, yeah, I am, but I'm not that deep of a backbender, unfortunately. I can bring 1 foot at a time to the top of my head, but I can't go that far as she does with the backbend.
Yoga is also a form of meditation, like the poses and all of that stuff. It helps release the mind.
That is right, my friend. I need you to co-teach with me. I need your...
And I can't believe I removed his username.
Oh, hey.
When I took a screenshot.
Fucking faggot.
This guy posts a lot of hunting photos, but look at that nose, dude. Jesus Christ.
It's like the oh yeah.
This is a guy I follow that I don't remember why I started following him, but he posts about hunting all the time, and I'm like, does this guy not know what he is?
That's right. Yeah, the white guy I know, he doesn't look as fucking like he doesn't look as like Middle Eastern and stuff, but he has a nose like that.
Okay.
And he's obsessed with money.
I had a business partner that used to he would walk like a mile to avoid paying like a $1.50 ATM fee. Like that's when I started.
This person isn't cheap. They're actually, in a way, they're obsessed with money, but they're also terrible with it, which is weird. And they also, maybe they're not a Jew, and they love to be sold, right? They love to go into you go in to buy a new bathroom, or you go into they love to let the salesman feed their ego because it makes them feel big, and ends up you go into the.
This is clear line.
It's okay, Soka. Yeah, thank you. Nathan, mute up. There's one point I do agree with Nathan. It is disingenuous to compare Gaza with the Holocaust.
It's not.
Listen, Soka, it is because
How?
I will tell you, I'm going to explain to you. What's happening in Gaza is probably 1,000 times worse than what happened in the Holocaust. Okay? The kind of criminality, the brutality, the barbarism that we are witnessing today, it was not happening during the Hitler regime. Hitler was more humane than these Zionists that we see today. Hitler was more, he had a methodology, he has a method to the madness. Here, there is no method to the madness. Hitler at least gave a soup bowl to every Jew, There was a routine, there was a regime where soup bowl and biscuits and bread were given regularly to the Jews. Here they are denying even that. So tell me, Soka, how are the two comparable? It's impossible to compare the two. Holocaust is, literally an amateur work compared to the professionalism of the Israelis that we are seeing today in Gaza. And just going back to the aid threats, Israel has been starving Gazans for 17 years, even before October 7. There were huge blockades. There was siege on basic items, basic necessities of life. So Hitler never did that.
sit here and admit that, you know, what happened in the Holocaust was disgusting. Hitler's disgusting. But I'm not going to sit here and compare atrocities and say, you know what, hey, what's happening in Palestine is worse than what's happening in, you know, Congo, or what's happening in Palestine was worse than what was happening in the Holocaust. You know, each one is a tragedy with its own history, and I'm not going to sit here and compare tragedies and say, you know, that. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is that you guys are no better than fucking Hitler. And you guys are no better than the fucking Nazis. So get off of your fucking high horse and just accept reality.
That's right. So
Accept reality.
I disagree with you.
Accept reality.
We're no better than the Nazis.
That's right. No. Shoker, that's right. I disagree with you, Shoker. I respectfully disagree.
Cosplaying as a fucking Jewish because he has a fucking identity crisis.
Can I
Shoker, that's
guys,
right. I disagree with you.
hold on, can I just say something? Because I don't want us to go down this path, okay? I know where everyone's coming from, and I understand where all of you guys are coming from. I know that after the Holocaust, Jewish people said never again, and the history was taught as it should have been, because any type of atrocity, whatever the level is, it's wrong. I'm never going to do this oppression Olympics. It's fucking wrong. It is wrong at every goddamn level. What's so fucked up is to have said never again, for there to be memorials, and rightfully so, for it to be taught, it to be spoken of, and Holocaust survivors to have been honored. And there are those unfortunate same people that are unfortunately having to see their own government, who claims to be Jewish, carry out atrocities in their name. I mean, I can go ahead and provide a lot of this information in this chat when I park, Nathan. You can see people who are Jewish, who are devout, they are absolutely mortified that their government, who says they're an ethno-state, is carrying out atrocities in their name when they said never again. That is a problem here, to have suffered. I don't know if it's a Stockholm syndrome, like what that terminology is.
No, it is never again.
Hold on, Nathan. No, it's not. Nathan, don't do this. Never again means don't do it to fucking anybody. It doesn't mean it shouldn't happen to us.
Europeans,
it means, hold on. No. Don't take, listen. Do not do it to anybody. Never again doesn't mean don't let it happen to us. I mean, if that's the narrative, then is really government any better than Hitler's government? To be like, I want to preserve myself at the cost of others, because that's exactly what Hitler wanted to do. He wanted to create an Aryan race and blame the Jews for everything. At whose cost? So let me just say this, because I am not one of those people that's ever going to minimize anyone's suffering. And don't you dare, Nathan, get off this fucking mic. I think that you're going to minimize the suffering of Palestinian people at the hands of Israel, this government who said never again. Last but not least, if you know anything, I mean, let's talk about the Warsaw ghettos. Do you want to look at how food was given to them and how much was given to them? Yeah. So if I'm using your argument, then I'm going to say, oh no, there was no starvation in those Warsaw ghettos, because they were given a loaf of bread to share among 12 people. Okay? And that is going to be the logic that you die on, because that's the logic you're using. And if we use the same logic, you're going to run to anti-Semitism. So please don't. Please don't do it. I don't know what you.
My intention is not to minimize the suffering.
Hold on. Whatever the fuck. Sorry if I ask.
No, we had this conversation earlier on today when you were not in the room, and he made a comment. For example, he said, Palestinian women are giving birth right now, during the crisis, during the last 1 year. That shows that there is no genocide in Palestine. Okay?
That's not what I said.
That's what you meant. You might
No, that's not what I said.
Set of words.
Oh, you're misrepresenting me right now. That's respectfully, you're misrepresenting me. I'm one thing at a time, and I'll touch on that in a moment, because I do want to respond to
I'm not going to go back to that. But let me just add on to what Ace said. Ace is there, or she's left? Okay. Ace is left. Doesn't matter. The point is, never again, I don't know, never again, they meant it for themselves. They will never become victims, but they will victimize. That's what they meant. And I'm sorry, if people think that I need to be politically correct every time I make a statement, that's not going to happen with me. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Yes, the Holocaust was a horrific, horrible, chapter in the history of humanity. Hitler was Hitler was a devil. I agree to all that. I even believe that 6 million Jews were killed. I also believe that 6 million non-Jews were also killed in that incident in the Holocaust. But somehow they get invisibilized. They never get mentioned anywhere. Even the Holocaust museums do not mention those non-Jews that were killed by Hitler. So somehow, surprisingly, then they come back here and say that we mean never again means for everybody. No, they meant never again meant only for the Jews, nobody else. Everybody else can go to hell, literally. So they never meant that. And I'm not going to, hesitate to make this statement time and again and get an opportunity, because what they meant was for themselves and not for the humanity in general, in at large, it's not like that. So they can victimize, but they cannot be victimized. But they will call themselves as victims. This "I'm the victim" card is displayed at every nook and corner of their history. And then, you talk to anybody, he will say, you are attacking me because I'm a Jew. No, I'm attacking right now. If I criticize Nathan, I don't criticize Nathan because he's a Jew. I criticize him because he's literally gaslighting. He's literally relying on Israeli media, which is basically doing propaganda, and he is getting into that propaganda. So that's why I criticize Nathan. I don't even know if Nathan is Jew, for example. I don't know. If he claims he's a Jew, I just believe that he's a Jew because he claims so. If somebody else says that he's a Buddhist, I would take it at face value. I don't care if that person is a Buddhist. So that's the point. That's the problem with talk only on behalf of one. They don't want anything else to be, reaching out to people. Like, for example, if you say from the river to the sea, they will say you are anti-Semitic, you want all the Jews to be eradicated and so on. But then they will not talk about the same statement in the Likud Party's charter, which says that there shall be no Palestinian state and there shall only be an Israeli state from the river to the sea. Nobody criticizes that. Yes, you agree with that. So you don't want a Palestinian state then.
No,
so why should we believe? No, I mean, you just said you agree with that.
Then you're
I agree. Yes, absolutely. I believe in a one Jewish state. I believe in a one Jewish state solution, and I want the Palestinians to have residency and to live there and to be a part of Israeli society.
Okay,
I want them to be a part of it as long as they're not trying to destroy
Very nice, Nathan.
I don't want to.
Why not have a Palestinian state where I'm sure Jews can also live? If they give up their
what I believe.
Fayaz, there's actual
indigenous Jews have lived
no,
there, not
Fayaz,
the Ashkenazis. Ashkenazis, not the Mizrahis.
Fayaz, I'm trying to tell you something. Listen, this is actual fact. There's actual Palestinian Jews who live in the West Bank that you can actually go on YouTube and you can see them literally telling or like cursing and spitting on the IDF and telling them to get out of their places. Like, there's actual Palestinian Jews.
Wow.
Edmund is back.
Of course he is. I'm looking at this Joy Now Joy. Is that the new one? I'm gonna follow it.
He followed me and I followed him back and then he unfollowed me, so I unfollowed. I was like, okay.
Joy Now Joy.
I'm glad you moved on from your, what is it called? DDS syndrome? What's the second word supposed to be? Diego derangement syndrome. I'm glad you moved on from that, Joy.
Yeah.
But you did get very popular over it, so congratulations.
Yeah, you gained lots of follows. That was incredible. Yeah, I mean,
myself on YouTube since I'm a little bit sick.
Ryan sounded odd too.
Yeah, we're both sick. Sounds like it. Who sounds sicker, Ryan or me?
Ryan.
Yeah. Did your cough go away, Diego?
Yeah, but not before. I mean, it went away, and then I traveled a little bit, and it went, and I got super allergic.
Wow.
Yeah, and then now I'm coming off of that.
Yeah, allergies are out of control.
And I hate allergies. Hated me here. Did you see what happened to Jay Leno?
Oh my god. And he continued his comedy show.
Yeah, but he's like he's worth $500 million. Why would he stay at a Hampton Inn?
Yeah, I know somebody was asking that.
And then why would he be walking down the? It makes no sense. His story sounds full of shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hampton Inn.
Oh, well, I like the Hampton Inn too. For the record, I actually really like Hampton Inn.
What is
My dad.
What is it?
My dad told me about Hampton Inns like when I was a young man driving across the country, and he said like you never go wrong. They have a very good standard quality. You know, you pay a little extra, but it's a good quality.
Okay. So it's
hotel.
Hilton. It's Hilton.
It's now owned by the Hilton. I don't think it was owned by the Hilton back then, but
got it.
Yeah.
Hotels can be very, very gross if you just think
Yes.
about it. The people that are in it.
Yep.
Even the highest.
I don't know why.
Philip, you came in at a weird time. Like, Jeff has brought up the bottle eating like 10 times over the last 10 days.
Phil knows that.
Yeah.
It's my go-to. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I'm going to class. See you later.
Hey, good luck. Have a good night.
Peace out, man. Oh, VK, I don't think anyone's saying, like, if you're licking buttholes, you're doing well. Like, I don't think it's a doing well doing.
Right? In a sense. And this is what they're saying. Well, what do you make of that? And then they're all saying that. Not just a few of them, most of them. I understand they're part of the Democratic Liberal Party, but not everybody that's part of the Dems has to condemn it. And especially them, they should stay out of it. So what do you make of it? They seem passionate.
It's similar to the 78%, 79%, whatever. It's self-hating truth.
I know, but just because you're a Democrat does not mean you oppose Israel. Since when do those two go hand in hand?
Well, lately they have, unfortunately. These are October 7th liberals.
Bernie is always opposed. Bernie is
forget
always
him. He
opposed.
just
Chuck's been
he's an
talking
outlier.
shit about
He's an
people
outlier.
for a while. Chuck doesn't oppose Israel. Chuck supports Israel. He just opposes baby. But you guys make a big deal about it. A really big deal. Big deal. Get over it. Anyway, he's out. I'm kind of sad Chuck is out. Are you not sad?
Yeah, not my senator. We need you in New York so you can turn the tide. You said you were going to move like a year ago. Nothing happened. You're all talk.
No, because I had a boyfriend there, Yaakov, and we broke up.
Yeah, but don't you want to be... Oh, no, we went through this. You don't want to be a doctor. I didn't know you were...
I do want to be a doctor. I'm practicing in a hospital right now.
No, sorry, I didn't know you were moving because of a boyfriend. I thought you just wanted to move.
No. You were the precipitating factor. There were other opportunities that arose. It could have aligned.
Address like the issues. You don't have to be just evil to them for no reason. Or am I wrong?
No, that's correct.
Yeah, it's like, how are you benefiting us in any way?
Yeah. No reason to be nasty.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel thinks that I'm Hitler's wife. He calls me Eva. But I was like, hi, Daniel, how are you? I'm like,
Calls you Ava, you are
he's in
Ava.
Israel right now, actually.
Daniel?
Yeah, he's in Israel.
He always is, isn't he?
I think he's normally in Germany, right?
No, I always thought he was in Israel.
Hmm.
But yeah, it makes sense. Like, none of these people are actually, like, when you're leaving your country that often, like, you're not.
Yeah. Like, one of the Jewish people one time had said that they're not going to Israel, and I talked to them a little bit more, and I realized they actually do want to be in Israel. They just don't want to go there because of safety, but as soon as they're able to, they are going to go there. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind.
What did you think that they meant by that, or what?
I think when they first said it in the room, because then I asked them about it, like, later, they were trying to make it seem as if they're not connected to Israel, but they really are. They were just placating to the room. Diasporism.
Diasporism.
Diasporism. Diasporism. Ryan, what was the type of band that you said? What is it? Mariachi band?
Mariachi band?
Yeah, what is that, Diego? Like, what's his name? Ryan was saying that you play mariachi band music a lot. What? Did you hear me? Is my phone messed up? Let's see. He sounds like Shakira. Bésame means kiss me, right?
Bésame, bésame mucho.
Edmund, why are you not talking?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Why did you make a new account?
Because the other one got clipped.
No, it's still there.
I know, but I don't have, I do these on burner phones, so I don't have that telephone number to get the account back after the suspension is lifted. So it's.
Do you feel like you should apologize to Diego for using his identity for fame?
No, this is a non-playable character. I mean, I can't believe they even clipped me, to tell you the truth. Like, that one was a surprise, but the whole thing to me was I wanted to do whatever I could do for the election, and I achieved those goals. I really disrupted a lot of rooms, and I was going in room after room for weeks saying, go to the gym, fatties, fatties, go to the gym, gym, fatties, go to the gym, fatties, vote Trump, go to the gym, like that was my mantra. And I injected that into so many people on this app. And I heard Goat Gagosian, aka Thugga Biden today. I mean, they're really crazy people on this app, in this world. And, you know, in the real world, they're not dangerous, but they sound dangerous on this app, you know? But really, people, everybody on here wants power. I don't know. It's so hard to say because like I'm like trying to do a social clout chasing, you know, experiment. And a lot of these other people aren't even really trying to like build up any kind of a following or something in terms of like communication. So I don't know. I mean, some people are well off and they have time to espouse their intellectual opinions, but you know, who knows what'll happen to this app? I mean, all my YouTube accounts, I'm gonna like call them like Clubhouse the movie or something, you know, and just like let it sit out there because like if this app gets bought up or shut down or integrated or I don't know, who knows, you know? I mean, a lot of shit.
It's smart to upload things to YouTube. That way, you don't have as much. You don't have to worry about your storage.
Oh, I know. It's the same thing with a dash cam on a car. I just live stream when I drive my car straight to Instagram. People who do memory dash cams are stupid. You could just live stream if you got an unlimited data plan. So it's a good thing for insurance because if you go on YouTube and you see the car insurance scams out there, people will literally pull up in front of you on the highway and hit their fucking brakes. Like that's how petty the scams are. Yeah, video footage is video footage is the way to go. No matter what you do artistically, you can't top video. It's way more hypnotic than just pictures because you're talking about millions of pictures compressed into an experience as the, you know, like if you ever go to the MoMA or the Art Institute or any of these major museums, you could look at a Salvador Dali and you're like, meh. It's like old and tiny, you know. But if you enhance it, if you expand the image, it's a much more attractive image. So this is why the pictures business or the movie business is such a big business. I mean, right now I'm watching an 8-hour video of dolphins in Hawaii, you know, and when you look at what these dolphins are doing, they're just like chilling. And they're predating, they're eating, they're like targeting food and they're in a barren environment and they're just constantly on the scan for what they can pick up off the surface of the ocean. So that I think that metaphor of the dolphins and what humans are doing.
What the hell was that?
That was a clip of me.
How do you say a virgin pussy?
Who was I asking that to?
Sorry, guys, I didn't hear anything. What? Who played that? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, the clip game is fun, but I don't know. At the end, I think what you guys are doing is you guys are just hypnotizing yourselves. And no matter, you know, how many news articles come up or whatever happens in the conflict everywhere, I mean, you guys are just like a pack of dolphins. You guys are doing the same thing that the other people are doing. Princessia, there's an echo. Yeah, you're just doing the same thing that they're doing. You're not doing anything original, is what I'm trying to tell you. You're the exact opposite of what they're doing.
Talking to me, what I'm trying to say is that the way that you're talking to me in this childish manner is the exact same reason why you don't have a wife and children.
Actually, see, this is the problem, Princessia. You're gonna run into me is everything you play back to me. I'm gonna say, God damn, that was pretty smart. It's not stupid what I say. Everything I hear back, I'm like, yeah, I'm not as stupid as some people think I am, or maybe I'm not as stupid as I think I am. But there are times where I have said things on this app, and I'm like, God damn, that's smart. So play it all back all you want. It's not going to make you sound any smarter, though. That's the problem. Well, that's not me. That's the rabbi. And in fact, a Jordanian restaurant opened just 2 blocks away from my house. It's called Jarash. And I've been to Jarash in Jordan.
Roughly translates to ball, huh?
No, I'm not sure what it means. Jarash. What is it? But anyways, it's Jordanian food. It's Arab Mediterranean. It's unbelievable. Everyone can agree that good food is good food. And so, you guys are just complaining about pizza. And apparently you don't like burritos or steak, or chicken. I mean, what are you guys complaining about this evening?
They don't make Doritos the way they used to, It doesn't taste the same.
You are the kind of guy that eats Doritos and Cheetos, huh?
Wait, what doesn't taste the same?
Doritos.
I don't. Well, maybe. Well, you might be right.
I like to take Doritos and then I like to sprinkle, I put them in a bowl, then I put Tabasco sauce on them, then I toss them and put more Tabasco until I've made sure that every thing has Tabasco on it, and then I repeat the process but with lime juice.
The ranch or the cheese?
Do you drink with these Doritos?
Are we talking about ranch Doritos or cheese?
I'm talking about regular Doritos, the regular classic nacho cheese Doritos.
Oh, okay, nacho cheese. My bad.
Yes. And then I eat that.
You should try plain Lay's potato chips with buttermilk.
I don't do potato chips. I never liked them. I always thought they were terrible. And then I heard that they cause leaky gut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that people get the shits with potato chips.
No, that's what the artificial chemical they have in some of the potato chips. I don't remember what that's called, but...
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? That people were getting, I guess they were sharding or something.
No, that was like a chemical that was in there. But if you just get like regular kettle cooked, plain potato chips and shit that's like says they're whatever, I mean, there's not much additives. I mean, it's just deep fried fucking potatoes. Where's the potato farmer in here in the potato snitch?
Explain to me this. Why is it? Why is it that I like French fries? I like French fries or potato wedges.
Yeah.
I just don't like potato chips. I don't know. It's something about them. Like, it's not pleasant to me.
Well, have you ever had a potato chip that's like half hard, half soft? It's delicious.
Jesus. Also, am I crazy in saying that potato chips tend to be more salted than Doritos?
Doritos have artificial flavorings, artificial powders, artificial preservatives. They're horrifically chemicalized fucking pieces of potatoes. And whatever the potato product is that's covered is most likely still not even a potato. Who the fuck even knows what a Dorito is? Do you? It could be soybean. Who the fuck knows?
No. A Dorito is a tortilla chip.
Oh, so it's a corn chip. It's a corn chip, but it's not all corn. It could be a composite.
True. But I'll tell you, corn is terrible for you. But the real bad one, the one that you really want to stay away from, and I tend to think they're
pretty tasty, but they're fucking horrendous and they will destroy my gut, is the Takis.
Oh yeah, the spice ones.
Those Takis will just fucking destroy you.
Let me ask you. I know you don't know this because I know they don't have it in California, but I'm still gonna ask. Do you know what grippos are?
No.
Pardon, Will. Do you know what grippos are? Grippos. Like
BBQ chips?
Yeah, they're like a delicacy in Kentucky.
Easy.
Well,
great potato chips. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all that stuff potato
listen,
chips.
at the Walgreens checkout aisle, they have Shaquille O'Neal candies, and they're just like gummies. But when you look at all the chemicals in there, the Zorthobate gum, the Red 6, Yellow 7, Orange 5, it's like all these chemicals.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, you must be really depressed and you want to eat that shit. Or you're a kid and you see the picture of Shaquille O'Neal's big head and you're like, oh, I can't wait to eat a piece of Shaquille O'Neal sugar candy, triple coated in sugar powders, full of 16 different.
What kind of things are in alcohol?
Ethanol. Do you know what that is chemically?
No, seriously, they're like these weird preservatives.
No, when you go to a bar and there's 60 bottles on the shelf, every bottle is like 10 to 80% ethanol, and then there's flavoring and coloring, and then the rest is marketing. There's no fucking difference. Even with beer, because beer is still 6% ethanol. The rest is water, flavoring, and coloring, and it's generally hops. But you can get wheat beers. But hops, hops is the big ingredient.
I mean, is there not those crazy chemicals in alcohol that you're talking about?
You need to get somebody who really understands breweries and wines and all that stuff and chemistry, because it's all chemistry. It's a big business.
Yeah. I didn't really like my chemistry problems when I talked about proofs.
This is why people are cultured, because they actually understand chemistry. That's why the Germans became so powerful. They understood chemistry. Who do you think created beer?
Diego, I'm laughing at myself for thinking the monkey martyred himself.
It's ridiculous. Let me tell you this. Something I find very interesting about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is that on the one hand, the Palestinians are dying, but they are probably not on any drugs because they're too poor to afford them. So they're seeing the horrors of war, but completely sober, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, the increase in medication consumption in Israel just in the last 4 months has gone through the roof. So these Israelis are they're not suffering losses, but they're increasingly disconnecting from reality. I mean, I guess someone like our Jewish friend John would probably say that they're just accessing higher planes of existence. But they're when you go on their personal, if you go on Instagram and you look at these people consuming these meds, they're upset. They don't look like they're accessing God, dude.
Well, you have
they're very upset.
So we're talking about pharmaceutical medicine, not illegal drugs, right?
Pharmaceuticals, yeah.
Yeah, but how do you know what they're consuming, and what specifically are you talking about?
Hold on. That's actually one of my concerns from us. I'm afraid that these other people are going to start coming in and pushing this pharmaceutical industry on those and use them as guinea pigs for more drugs.
Pharmaceuticals, they don't even have modern plumbing. They're living in tents.
Yeah, but I worry that people are going to come in and just be like, oh, this child.
What do you think? Some chick named Sarah is going to come in and say, hey, I'm a rep for Pfizer. Can I tell you about a new product we're offering your insurance provider?
I really do foresee that happening to them.
They're already vaccinated for polio. What do you think that was all about?
But Diego, the fact that the Israelis that aren't going through the stuff are on all these medications, and the Palestinians are going through the worst of worst, and hopefully aren't being medicated, what is it that you're drawing from the contrast?
He's making a joke. He's saying the Jewish delusional people are taking psychiatric medications.
I'm not making a joke.
You're not making a joke?
It's very serious. It's very serious.
You honestly think Palestinian fighters aren't using Adderall and other neurotransmitters, like, drugs to engage in warfare? Do you not know how to fucking fight? The fuck planet do you live on?
First of all, let's get this clear. Like, Israel and Hamas don't really go against each other. That's not how this war really works.
Well, what is the conflict then? Right? Well, explain to me what I don't apparently understand.
Joy, let him speak, because I feel like this is really important. Don't troll.
He's making the delusional statements now. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, he's not. You didn't even hear him land.
Look, I just posted the link.
I didn't hear him land. Listen, Clubhouse flight attendant. Go ahead and fucking make your point, Diego. The fuck?
It says here, let me read this article to you. It says, Health Minister Uriel Busso says that the country is in the midst of its worst ever mental health crisis amid the ongoing war. We are experiencing the largest mental health event that the state has ever known since its establishment. A crisis that requires us as a state and as a society to change perceptions and upgrade the public mental health system once and for all to meet the challenges posed by this war and the future.
Insane.
Well, what's your point though? I don't understand.
Dude, he literally used the word perception. Have you ever heard of the doors of perception?
Yeah.
Okay. So, he who holds the keys to perception.
No, I get it. I get it. The thing is, I was driving to the gym earlier, and the NPR was doing an interview with what I could tell clearly was an overweight woman who claims that she was a general family practitioner. And she was saying, if you're having a mental health problem, you need to go to your family practitioner immediately and be the frontline doctor. But the whole thing is based off of a business or an insurance billable. So, real mental health therapy, can't the internet solve anything other than getting a package from Amazon or eBay? I mean, I know BetterHelp is essentially a scam and psychic, I mean, can't the internet provide mental health therapy or at least depression or anxiety relief? I mean, I think the only way you can do it is with education and the gym.
But think about it this way. Like Diego was saying, they're going through genocide. They're seeing limbs everywhere. And they're not getting, quote, mental health. But then you have, societies where they're just living regular lives. And they want mental health help.
Israel is
something
losing
wrong.
No one is dying in Israel, and yet they're having a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Think about this. It's amazing.
I know, but you're talking about a herd population that is now, essentially stressed out. There's a lot of anxiety from the conflict.
Oh my God.
Anxiety that they haven't killed enough.
Well, I'm sure it's a double-edged sword. I'm not disagreeing with you that if the statistics actually say, that there is an increase in psychiatric or psychological disorders as a result of the conflict, I don't think that is a fucking big, wow. I mean, okay.
Think about this. So when Yakov or Daniel told me, we'll just, Israel has a right to defend itself, we'll just attack whoever attacks us. Am I supposed to take it seriously, or is that the lunatic ravings of a madman? You see what I'm saying? Are they delusional?
You can only counterattack, with what you have, and who knows what the real numbers are. But I mean, Israelis are pretty fucking serious, and when you see the videos of some of the, people in command and how essentially how well trained they are, and if they really have.
Dude, we've all seen Seinfeld. We know that when you say, Jerry, Elaine, Kramer, and Costanza.
That's the difference.
How serious those people can be.
Listen, I've been to Israel, and these people don't fuck around. Like, they don't fuck around, and a lot of them are in great shape, and they're highly trained soldiers.
Israel too, and yeah, they do fuck around. I've been to Israel. They fuck around.
Yeah, fuck around and find out. I don't understand. What's your point, though? Like, they know how to drop rockets from jets. Do you?
Okay, that's because their daddy, the actual
Daddy bought him a fucking F-45. I don't listen. This is the point: is that you can go down this tunnel for years and years and years, but it doesn't benefit me. I mean, I'm trying to at least create content. I don't see how it benefits you. Like, what is your point to that? What's your point, though? I could understand if you're an activist for peace, but you don't strike me as a peace activist, and Brincesia doesn't strike me as a peace activist either. I mean, that's why I say go to the gym. I mean, I've already voted Trump, so I won't say that anymore. But I would just say go to the gym and read a book. Like, otherwise, you guys, in my opinion, when you criticize the Jews as being neurotics or full of, mental health problems, you are a hypocrite because you yourself are doing the same stupid thing. Don't you see how you're a hypocrite?
Mental health problem?
No, I'm saying you're a hypocrite. That's the end of that's the end of all arguments.
I'm not taking antidepressants.
Well, good for you. I don't care what you do for your health. There's just common sense approaches. If you're gonna go and take, modern pharmaceuticals, you're stupid.
I'm kind of worried, Joy, that you're so accepting of this industry, and you don't it's kind of telling, it's reflect about your life.
Try to put together a coherent statement or a sentence.
Yeah, but everything that you've just been saying in context of what Diego brought up was about mental health and this industry. Like, you're a proponent of it, clearly.
Of psychiatry?
Yeah.
No, I'm not endorsing psychiatry. I think it's causing much more damage and harm than it is causing any kind of good.
Then the fact that you have a society in Israel that's increasing their intake of these pharmaceutical drugs.
You're talking about a news story, which is essentially a publicity piece for the industry. That's not how the majority of these Jews in Israel feel. A lot of the Orthodox there, they don't trust any of this shit because they're smart enough. They use their ancient manuscripts first, and then they say anything else, it's got to be an emergency.
Yeah, but they're going to infiltrate. The Orthodox is kind of, my understanding is they're marginalized there, right? Second, even if they're not marginalized, they're being infiltrated by this industry.
Listen, the standard of living in Israel is very high compared to what's happening in the United States of America, I assure you.
That was not the impression that I got.
It's not great everywhere, but I'm just saying it's a beautiful. I've been to Jordan, I've been to Israel. It's just a beautiful part of the world. It's indisputable. And
indisputable.
It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous.
Diego, that you didn't see the natural beauty there. I guess the place that you went to is, I don't know, it's synthetic.
It's still a very free part of the world, but the problem is there's violence, and nobody likes violence. And America is no different. That's why I say you're hypocrites, because Chicago has 40 murders every weekend. Every weekend. That's more than the numbers that are even happening in Gaza right now. So,
What?
yeah.
You don't lie about the numbers in Gaza?
Do you know the numbers? I don't know the numbers anymore. You don't see it in the news.
And it's sad.
Why do you like to read that hypnosis every week?
Which hypnosis?
Hypnosis about murders near your home.
What do you mean? I look at X. I'm on X fucking 50 hours a week looking at the news.
50 hours a week.
Do you agree that what you're reading is a type of hypnosis?
Of course. All communication is hypnosis.
So why do you choose X? The most anti-Semitic website of them all.
Yeah, there's a lot of Jew hate on there. It's insane.
I don't see enough.
I call them out, and then they block me.
That was a good one.
I mean, you do realize that,
those are rookie numbers. We need to pump those numbers up.
I don't see your problem is you two are like an odd pairing on the internet, but in the real life, you know.
Do you think we would get along?
Honestly, who knows? You know, like.
How good do you think that sex would be?
How great would the sex be?
Yeah.
You'll have to. I don't think your opinion really counts. I think what Princessia's opinion of your performance is probably what's more interesting. You know, I mean, do you work out?
I do.
Okay, how much do you bench? How much do you squat? How many push-ups can you do? How many sit-ups can you do in 2 minutes? What's your 2-mile time? I mean, what are your actual physical?
Wait, let's. Are we going for like weight measurements, or like you want pure stamina? Is that stamina? I think I'm okay in the stamina place. Like,
how do you rate your sexual performance now versus 10 years ago? Because knowledge.
Okay.
Why would it have decreased?
It should only increase if you maintain your physical standard. But I'm saying if his physical standard has decreased, if he hasn't increased his sexual capabilities, then I'm just wondering how he gauges himself.
With age, that it would increase because you had more experience.
Yeah, well, you do actually sort of, I guess, not marinate, but ferment. It's fermentation. I mean, when listen, when I was younger, a lot of times you fuck like a robot, like just like a machine, like pop 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 pop, you know. But I'm just saying, yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
I guess I'd have to say better.
Okay, well then, if you think you're better, then you're better. But it's all subjective or tentative until you two actually figure out whether you actually are attracted to each other. But since one of you is a widow and the other one is a divorcee, I mean, as you're, you have to talk to the rabbi to see if it's kosher. You can get your gets. I don't know.
Divorcee. What are you talking about?
Anybody on this app who spends as much time as him clearly cannot be in a successful marriage. Maybe even Migzed too, because I heard Migzed on here getting into it with Gio, and it's fun. Gio is such a hothead; it's incredible. Who?
Diego's not even on the app that much.
Oh, that's only because.
A lot of times, when you think I'm on the app, that's just a bot.
Yeah.
That's why we've been laughing.
He's not. He's telling the truth. He's just there. It's just a bot.
Well,
you think you're making fun of me, but you're just making fun of a bot. It's just recordings of me.
I get it. But when they popped my Diego account, it was like I was free because I went as hard as I could, and then the account just got deleted, suspended, and I was like,
"Oh shit! That's why they're trolling stuff, just to cancel your chat."
That was it, but it was an incredible experiment because I had a room of like 10 Diegos.
Dude, you have to bring this back. I wanted to see how far this could go. According to Stookie or Abby or whatever, it was 11 accounts.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's basically my magnum opus or my artistic endeavor, because it's a.
You see, we're like the Joker and Batman. Like we need each other.
It's actually more like
the right hand and the left hand.
No, it's listen. Your picture of Rhett Butler is actually probably the motif for V for Victory or V for Vendetta. Guy Fawkes.
Joy, I think you take for granted Diego's friendship towards you. He clearly sees you as somebody he enjoys being in his rooms, but you kind of went off the deep end when you were going after him.
Yeah, and I didn't even make the Anne Frank joke.
Yeah, it was Princessia. It was Princessia that drew.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. You were like, "Do you like the blue eyes? Do you like the blue eyes in this Anne Frank?" Don't bring it up again. Just don't bring it up again.
I was looking for it.
Don't bring it up again, because I'm looking at dolphin pictures right now to calm down because
Hold on, Joy. I was looking for an Anne Frank photo, and one of them was in color.
And I did Google whether Anne Frank was trans, and I was looking at the pictures, and I was like, please, dear God, don't tell me that's a boy. I was like, no way, this can't be true. And I don't think that's true. But I did see the pictures and I was like, man, what? That kind of looks like a boy. But I have looked at children.
Wow, Diego, you see after all that?
Oh, you do?
No. I've seen pictures.
By the way, I was really, you can tell when it's actually me on the app. That was me actually just telling you the things that I've read over the years.
I know, but
I've been looking this stuff up for years, dude. Decades, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. So you're like the Augustus. Instead of UFOs, Jewish conspiracy theory is your forte. Got it.
A lot of the Wikipedia early life sections were written by me. I'm not even joking about that.
Wow, you're a Wikipedia Jewish conspiracy editor. That's incredible.
No, well, it's just, when Wikipedia first came out, I don't know, I imagine you do the same thing.
Yeah, I tried to use Wikipedia many times, and I've had, it's always been a difficult, inexhaustible, stupid fucking website to use.
That's amazing, Diego. So you were editing a lot of the Wikipedia pages early on?
Early on, I created a lot of Wikipedia pages.
That's incredible.
About what? About what, though?
With all due respect, John, it got infiltrated by Jews.
But what? What were you writing about?
Everything, dude. Anything that I was reading about in high school, I was uploading and contributing to pages.
Oh, because you were a neo-Nazi in high school. I got it. I forgot.
No, because it wasn't just that. I'm just saying, if there was something, for example, I've said this many times. Indiana Jones is my favorite series, right? So, when I got on there was a Harrison Ford entry. It didn't mention that his mother is Jewish, so I just added that to that, something important about his early life.
I thought you were going to talk about when they opened the tabernacle.
Now that I know that you were early on in Wikipedia.
Because
my cousin, who's the smart one of us, that's when Wikipedia first came out, she's the one that used to go there and just read about everything, before any of us were on Wikipedia.
But what started happening is after a while, some of these pages, especially as you can imagine, anything to do, and that's the thing. Part of it has to do with how your interest. It's why are you so obsessed with Jews? It's not that it starts off that way. What happens is that as you start to touch upon things when you're a young kid, and you
listen, I gotta interrupt, man. I don't know. I don't know why you think you can make your case on my YouTube channel, but if you're gonna make the case over and over and over again, and not actually read a book on this app or do anything intellectual.
Joy, what do you mean?
I love to read books on this app.
Yeah, Diego.
I know, but what makes you think you're actually intelligent?
I never thought I was.
So you admit you're stupid then?
You know how you know Diego's intelligent, Joy? He doesn't ever just.
I know, but I've never heard you actually discuss anything of any complexity. Princessia, I've never heard you discuss anything of any complexity either. I mean, other than the word JEW.
We found out today that I'm a little bit slow.
Well, you don't know how to pronunciate it.
Wait, go ahead and tell him.
Yeah, so I was watching Diego's favorite movie, and my silly self, for some reason, wanted to interpret one of the scenes when the monkey ate the date, as he did it to show Indiana, because he couldn't communicate that it was poisoned, and so he took the date because he knew it would kill him, so that he would not eat it and not die. And I thought that the monkey self-sacrificed for Indiana Jones. Yes, I understand now that that is very retarded.
So, I mean, do you think you'd actually be able to make anything creative in your life or build anything or achieve anything?
Me or Diego?
I mean, either of you.
Without telling him what the content was, what did you think about the last time that I showed you something that wasn't particularly, I didn't write it, but I was acting in it. What did you think about that?
Oh, yeah, the thing.
Did I have comedic timing?
Yeah, it was really funny. It was really funny. It was, yeah. The commercial.
Listen, I'm gonna create a new account on Clubhouse, and it's gonna just be called Rodney Dangerfield, and I'm just gonna play Rodney clips in rooms, and I guarantee you that account will become very popular because essentially all comedy is just hypnosis, and so Rodney unlimited depth of comedy that is pretty much all memorized. That's the performer's art. Is what they're really doing.
You're your funniest when you're pretending to be Diego.
Well, I've done.
Can you imitate Rodney Dangerfield?
No, it's easier just to play clips of him from his YouTube channel on here, because everybody wants to listen to Rodney. I can take his transcript and read it and impersonate him, but it's not the same. There's no point, because what imagine if you could create AI chatbots on here that were extremely gifted in communication to the point where they could hypnotize a room, like you said, you're talking to a bot. But imagine, if Thugga Biden was a bot.
Oh, well, he died.
Who?
Thugga Biden?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, yeah, long time ago.
Yeah.
But he's a big, his movies are American legends. I mean, he's very funny. It's just everything about him, his look, but what he has to say. I mean, Back to School was a big movie. Caddyshack was a huge movie. Ladybugs was a huge movie. But he had comedy clubs. He was selling booze. I mean, his life is, it's interesting. He was fighting depression all the time. He was smoking weed. He couldn't make any money in comedy. He was selling shingles for houses, and doing roofing. But Rodney Dangerfield is not his real name. He's got a very Jewish name.
What's his real name, Luda? Early life. See, somebody had to go in there. I'm not gonna tell you it was me. Like I said, I was one of the people that would put the real names into Wikipedia. Because this is kind of what my dad used to say. Oh, these actors are Jewish, and I said, well, what do you mean, Dad? He's like, well, can't you tell? And I'd be like, what am I looking for here? And then I'd say, oh, this actor here. Let's just for an example, say Rodney Dangerfield. He's like, do you think that's his real name? That would be my dad's.
But Diego, I feel like right now, how we say being Jewish is a religion. I actually now realize if I can identify somebody by looks, then maybe there is some truth to what it has become as an ethnicity. But what's concerning to me is before I asked, is he Jewish? Because before I looked at his name, I just looked at his face. It kind of looked like he was related to me.
Oh, wow.
He looked very familiar.
I don't see it at all.
Not me specifically, males in my family.
Rodney Dangerfield is like a redhead.
I have redheads in my family. My uncle, my aunt are redheads.
That doesn't count. It's not the same type of.
Have you seen my uncle and aunt, the redheads?
Please post a photo.
No, they're real redheads.
You can tell, for example, John comes from the Zach Ruda tribe, right? There are different tribes. John doesn't have any Seinfeldian DNA in him, right?
But
You can
Diego,
tell
my family is very, very diverse when it comes to, I have family members, my paternal uncle and paternal aunt are both redheads. And then my cousins that aren't their children all were redheads. Their parents aren't redheads. This is just close family that are redheads. And then I have more distant family that's diverse in their appearance. We all it's very, the phenotype is very diverse. I would say I'm probably on the darker side of my family, especially the girls. Yeah. But let me find. Let me find a picture of my aunt with her red hair. My uncle, I don't know if I have one. But his face looked like so like my family. Okay. Let me see.
Can you try to take, John, a Rodney Dangerfield joke and adapt it to some conversation or topic that we enjoy?
Did we lose him?
I'm here, but I mean, I'm literally gonna walk out of here and go to the gym. So I'm.
It's kind of late, don't you think?
It's 8:30. Listen, fatty, it closes at 10.
Red in this picture, Diego.
You could lose a lot more weight if you got some quality sleep.
I do get quality sleep, but going to the gym is essential. Are you? I mean, do you want me? I'm asking you. Do you want me to leave my YouTube streaming you, or do you want me to go to a bigger room with people that are?
Talk to us.
Talk to us.
I'm leaving.
Go to the gym every day.
I do go to the gym every day. It's one of my great joys in life is to go there and see beautiful women as I sweat.
Yes, but I mean, looking at them is not healthy for you. You should be actively approaching them and trying to get in their pants. You know what I mean?
This girl came up to me yesterday and asked me to adjust the machine for her. I was like, "Are you really talking to me? You're fucking so hot."
Did you say that out loud or just thought that?
No, I mean, listen, I don't want to bother people at the gym. I'd rather bother people at the bar who are drinking.
But you could find your wife there.
I'm going to go to yoga. There's a really hot yoga instructor, and I've seen her class. There's a lot of hot chicks in it, so I'm going to start going to her class on Mondays.
Do you think that once you settle down, you're going to stop streaming 24/7?
No, I want to make a living in streaming.
I was getting notifications of your YouTube videos for your shorts.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that a perfect example of all communication is hypnosis? It's just Milli Vanilli.
Try to adapt a Rodney Dangerfield joke. For you?
I'm not going to do one of. Listen, I hate to tell you this, but everything I've ever heard you put in front of me has not been very exciting.
Wow, what a hater!
Except for Thunderball, which you did not write, have anything to do with, and it's from James Bond, for God's sakes.
I can't get no respect. Hey, listen, it's dangerous.
Try to get some respect.
To school in California. In the morning, you drop off a girl. In the afternoon, you pick up a boy. It's so dangerous.
Yeah,
that's Rodney Dangerfield adaptation.
Don't quit your 50-hour-a-week job on here talking about the Jews.
Oh, come on. At this point, John, you know I don't have a 50-hour-a-week job. I'm just like you.
It's just like me.
We're two sides of the same coin. You must have picked this up by now. What the hell do you think was happening when we met at that damn gas station? You think it was just a coincidence?
I have no idea what you're doing.
Wait, Joey, why were you stopping them?
I don't know, but my sister invited me to go back. She's going there for 2 months, so I might go back to La Jolla.
Let's meet up. Let's do it.
She told me I have to get a hotel, though, so I was like, I wanted to sleep in the tent outside of their luxury RV. She's like, sorry, can't sleep in a tent. I was like, I can't sleep in a tent? I got to pay $289 a night to stay at the fucking Hampton?
Oh,
just bill your superiors for it.
Just go ahead and just go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see the screen, but Melissa's here.
Who's here? Yeah, I tried to call her. Yeah. Zed was in her briefing. Yeah, you should definitely come. I would offer you to stay in my guest house, but it would only work out if my parents were traveling.
No, honestly, I don't think I'm going to go. I think I'm just going to have to.
Wouldn't that be funny if he was fucking doing his live streams, if he brought all his phones? We'd have to get a whole new, he couldn't just be bumming off my Wi-Fi. He'd fucking have to, do you have a little box or anything?
I do. I have a
Wi-Fi box?
No. I mean, I just hotspot my cell phone.
You can't hotspot 20 phones on one cell phone.
You can't. I usually just do 2 at a time.
Okay. So what's all the 20 phones for? Oh, it's just to manage the accounts.
It's because every phone has an Instagram, every phone has a YouTube, every phone has a Snapchat, every phone has a TikTok, every phone has a.
Dude, I've got extra phones. Do you want some?
No, I'm good.
Or you're like you're good.
I don't need any more. I assure you.
Okay.
Believe me, my
Were
sister.
they by donation? Did you buy them, or are they just accumulated over time?
No, these are $50 burner phones. They're all track phones.
I'm gonna beat you on the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, track phone is it's just another cell phone provider's. You know, it runs off a Sprint network or whatever.
Oh, it's like Boost.
Yeah, it's just you get the lowest package. It's $15 for 30 days.
Wow, you have actual phone numbers for each phone?
No, I don't pay monthly. You're not listening. It's a 30-day burner phone for $15. It's a $50 burner phone and a $15 a month package. It's $65
But
to
you
get
keep
a
the
new.
phone for more than 30 days.
Yeah, because then I live stream myself on the new burner phone, live streaming Clubhouse, in an incredible attempt to try to generate views that never come.
But then, you know, what we like is we like to know that you never give up. We like that. About
Well,
you.
again, the whole thing.
The Rocky of gold.
The whole thing for me was.
Joy, you're getting views. One of your shorts got like 26 likes or 27 likes. Good job.
Yeah, those are going well. But the honestly, again, the whole thing was to try to do whatever I could do for Trump on Clubhouse, and I really disrupted Clubhouse quite a bit. So, in that was really my whole goal.
I like that you're recording and streaming this.
Well, I personally like that he's in a good mood and he's talking to us like a regular human being.
Yeah, I agree. Because Joy, it was 2 days before you kind of went boop boop. You were like apologizing, being nice.
Oh, I know. I just the point is, you know, listening to you talk about which Anne Frank photo Diego likes more, sort of just, you know, that was when I realized that it's not a you.
That was what triggered you.
That I realized then it's not a you problem; it's a me problem. And you know, again, I mean, I'm not really complimenting you. You may be laughing, but I got to tell you, like, you know, I hope things work out well for you. That's all I'm really trying to say, I suppose. Good luck.
I just want to know where the dandruff thing came from.
Can I just play what? This is what happened when he heard us talking about it. Just like blew a gasket. This is what happened basically.
It's got to be Roger Rabbit. Is that Roger Rabbit?
Bugs Bunny.
Oh, Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I mean, anyways,
You
again.
can hear it?
No, we can hear it. We can hear it. It was like it sounded like Bugs Bunny.
It's Roger Rabbit when he drinks. You know how he just goes apeshit.
It's very true, you know, and I think you do see a lot of people on this app that drink, and you see the bad, you know, behavior, and also the slurred speech behavior. You know.
Well, I've always had a knack of making people get triggered like that.
You?
Yeah. I've had that since I was a little kid.
Oh.
I've always had that ability to make people like lose it.
You didn't make me lose it. It was Princessia again asking you which picture of Anne Frank, the one with the blue eyes. Like that's when I realized that I'm dealing with extremely stupid, retarded people.
No, listen. There is a colored one of her where they made her eyes blue.
Listen, the point is, you know, if we were living in communism or some type of a forced economic environment for survival, you would be forced to have the most meaningless, trivial job because you would be incapable of doing anything useful for the survival of the human race.
So you're being a little bit mean now. back to being nice.
I'm just telling you, it's an opportunity cost to listen to you talk about Anne Frank's PTR and whether you like the blue picture or the. You see my point? That it's not a you problem. It's a me problem. I gotta listen to this shit. So when I lose it, it's not because I dislike you personally. I just think, that it's crazy for me to listen to you guys talk about this shit. Now you see my mental health dilemma. Why would I sit here and listen to this shit? It's stupid. You guys are stupid. You're stupid people. You're asking me why. I'm giving you the explanation on why I feel and think this way. It's not just a you problem. It's a me problem for listening to you.
So after we go into your hypnosis with your rooms, wasn't that the plan?
What, Melissa?
I thought he wanted to bring Diego into his hypnosis.
Yeah. I heard him say that.
So why did you stop your rooms? Why did you come in here?
He lost. He lost his account.
He wanted to lose his account. That's why he started doing that.
Well, no, I told you guys I was gonna nuke my account and go Roger Mayhem. Then I thought to myself, I've already done that. That would be So the Diego account lasted for like 72 hours, I believe, until finally, you or Brincesia reported me and got my account nuked.
No, it was not.
Who reported it?
Yeah, Christy and Jigaboo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So because you got clipped, that's why you stopped?
What?
Because you got clipped, you waved the white flag.
Do you not know how this app works? I can't just snap my fucking fingers and create a new account, pull it out of my ass cheeks. No, can I?
I actually thought that you could.
Can you be nice? Like, the thing that I like about Joy is that at least when you're being mean, you can say something too. Other people, if they're being really nasty, you can't say something, because if you say something, they're just gonna go like 100. At least you can be reasoned with.
I know, but you should say that to yourself, because I'm sure you have terrible moments on this app as well. It's all a projection.
Sometimes, but I'm very intentional in how I engage on this app.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
Yes, he has. Diego has peacefulized me.
Listen, my name is Joy.
We're working on the retarded part.
My name is Joy. This beautiful girl that I used to date named Anna, she had a dog named Joy. And this dog was the furthest thing from joy. It pissed and shit everywhere. It tore everything apart, gave you no peace, ate my wallet apart one day, destroyed all my credit cards, my debit cards, my driver. It ate all my stuff in my wallet.
Would it go onto the bed while you're trying to have sex?
Yes, it was the worst.
I broke up with a girl because I kicked a little dog off the bed one time.
I never went that far.
She saw me doing it, and that was it.
I was honestly in such a good mood and so happy to be with this girl. Yeah, this dog could never ruin my good mood because I like this chick a lot. But eventually, she told me one day. I went over to her house and she said, "I got to tell you something." I said, "What?" She said, "I sucked a guy's dick for an ounce of weed the other day." And I was like, wow. I was like, wow. I was like, I guess I'll never be able to forgive this or forget that. So I was like, so this relationship is pretty much, ugats now. I was like, I realized at that moment that she was, not only was I.
Why didn't she just ask you for the ounce of weed?
Well, I just realized that not only was I dealing with a disrespectful person, I was dealing with a stupid person. There are very stupid people out there.
Did she ask you for the weed?
No, she just told me this unsolicited as I came over to her house.
That's really nasty.
The point is, it's a little bit like Clubhouse in the sense that she was obviously trolling me to see if she could get me upset.
One time, this girl shared my drink, and I went and got this because she shared my drink. I get grossed out by people.
I actually had a girl in college. She was really hot, and we went out to a party together. I can't remember, we had already hooked up or whatever, and we went to a party together, and she started sharing weed with other individuals. she did one of those things where they're passing around the dupe, and I had to be 18, and I was like, this is nasty. I don't want to be sharing like the weed with these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Nasty.
I remember this girl, Elise. Now she's on YouTube. Thanks to Joy. We were out eating at a restaurant. Her mom, me, and she like drank from my cup, and I was so grossed out that she drank from my cup. I was like, why did you drink from my cup?
Listen, most problems always come out because of alcohol. Like when I was a kid, my aunt.
It was a Mediterranean restaurant.
I know, but was she drinking?
No, just like water. She just drank from my cup.
Oh.
Maybe use my straw or something. I don't remember.
I would drink from your cup.
Huh?
I would drink from your cup.
I would drink from your cup, Diego.
Wow, a couple of cup drinkers on the internet. You're like a couple of kids in high school on AOL Instant Messenger in 1996 chatting about the Jews. Like, you guys never grew up.
Was there really internet in 1996?
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't even know what TV show that's a quote from. That's from Tony Soprano. He's like, I saw my fucking kid chit-chatting on the fucking computer. I wanted to rip his fucking head off. You know, like, you guys are retarded. Well,
I do remember getting on AOL chat, like, at my uncle's house with my cousins and finding Palestinians, and we would, like, learn about stuff relating to Palestine from them when we were kids. Like, I learned about...
Shit, that's amazing. When I was a kid, I used to look up Atlantis. I also used to look up, like, the fall of the Roman Empire. I used to look up all kinds of historical things on the internets and read history books.
When did you get internet, though? How old are you?
Oh my God, that's a good question, I guess. I got my first compact computer, and I was playing Warcraft in the 8th grade, which would have been
what about Oregon Trail?
1999, I guess. I don't know, 1998. Oh yeah, we had computers prior to that, but
what about where in the
we had a Tandy, and we could do dial-up. We could get the dictionary and shit like that.
Wow.
What was it? Britannica? That was the big thing, right? That was the first thing that put the Britannica on the internet.
Do you know? I actually think the reason why I stayed a Muslim growing up, even though my Islam and my family wasn't the best representation, was because of the internet. Like, I would go on the internet and just read about Islam.
Is it your Islam?
I used to go to this website called themodernreligion.com. I looked it up recently to see if it still existed. But I don't think it was the same, because I just used to go on there and like look up the questions, read stuff about it. But that's like the website that I used to go to alone as a kid, themodernreligion.com.
Do you think that the Jews and the Christians are worshiping the same God as the Muslims?
I believe that there's only one God. I believe that there's only one God. So whatever you worship, you're worshiping God.
Right, but it's
like, if somebody doesn't have religion and looks up to the sky and says something to God, I like, my mind can't tell me that it's a different God, because I only believe there's one God.
But what does one God mean?
The Creator.
Right. What is the Creator? See, the point is, you know words, but you know, I mean, you could also say what you're saying in Arabic. You know, I'm not trying to be like.
He's right, Nono.
I'm just saying that, you know.
Break it down for me.
This is philosophy or wonder, meaning that, like, self.
Actually, can I play something? I want to. Well.
No,
I want to
hold on.
play it. Huh?
Hold on. He was going on a spiel.
Okay, go ahead. Because I was going to say something about Aristotle and the Muslims, because he starts talking about philosophy.
I mean, the whole thing is God, but, you know, the point is, if you think that Islam is the greatest slice of cheese pizza you've ever had in your life, and you've never tried Chicago cheeseburger, or you've never tried, you know, La Ciudad de Burrito, you know, I'm not saying that what your beliefs are wrong, but I'm just saying that if you're so exclusive, or, you know, you have this my Islam attitude, or my, you know, I just don't think that. Anyways, I mean, maybe you'll become smarter one day, but for the time being, you're just a dolphin.
A dolphin? Point, Nora. You're just a dolphin.
What's a dolphin, Daniel? Dolphins are so intelligent, though.
Oh my God! Did you see that video of the dolphin bringing the sea turtle to be helped by humans?
Yeah.
Wow.
They can communicate with dolphins. They can actually teach them a form of language.
I mean,
why are you agreeing with Joy?
The point is, aren't you an American?
Barely.
I mean, you have
they call them
you have citizenship, right? I mean, apparently you like Palestinian history. What do you know about American history? Because, according to you, the one God is the true God. I mean, what do you think the founding fathers of this country believed in? I mean, they believed in the one God.
I believe that American history really starts with the Reconstruction era.
Okay, so, I mean,
after the Civil War.
Yeah.
You should study Freemasonry if you actually want to know more about God, because the founding fathers, it's on the dollars. The country is Freemasonic, and there's still.
Diego, a lot of the amendments that we have today happened during the Reconstruction era.
No, but he's right about what he's saying. It's right there. Like, for example, it's anti-Catholic, right? The Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Is called the.
It's the whore of Babylon. It's the Babylonian mystery religion.
Well, the Catholic Church is called the. I can't remember the word. It's not obviously Novus Ordo Seclorum or whatever. It's the. Okay, I can't remember what the word is. But anyway, it means so. New World Order is what it says in our money, right? That's the Masonic stuff.
Right.
But the Catholic Church specifically calls itself the Old World Order.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Catholic Church calls it. So when they called it the New World Order, that's a Masonic thing.
Yeah. The Catholic Church and the Freemasons of Europe, waged war. There's Jacques de Molay. There's all these martyrs within Freemasonry that died at the hands of the Catholic Church. So America is, it's a religious war because Americans were competing against the Church of England, and the Church of England was competing against the Roman Catholic Church. So you're talking about in-groups and out-groups within Christendom or Christianity.
That there's more than one God that people worship.
What?
Because it says you will honor no other gods above me. Right?
I don't know.
Are you saying? Are you confusing the Catholic God versus the Church of God, that kind of thing?
No. What does the 10th Commandment say about gods?
Yeah, you're right. The way that you word it, it's true. Even when I was reading in the Old Testament, I was kind of taken aback by how there was this idea of other gods, kind of told in the different books.
You've seen that?
Yeah, but don't you think that's irrational?
No, it's because Christ is the King above all kings, the God above all gods.
But there's only one.
Yeah, that's.
I just without the concept of religion, the way my brain works is I go to a single point, I go all the way back and to a point where everything begins and that emanates.
Oh, that's fascinating, Princess. Just see, I know you guys like to talk in terms of movies because you're all really stupid. The point is, imagine watching a movie about Jesus Christ and then watching a movie about Muhammad. Princess, you're going to say, oh, that movie about Muhammad was so much better.
Why do you think that? No, why do you think that?
You think you could actually like a movie about Jesus more than Muhammad?
Of course.
Really?
Why wouldn't I?
Okay. Maybe if it's actually a better movie.
I think you're confused about the Muslim versus the Jew.
You're missing my point, Princess. The point is people's religious preferences are geographic. It's where you're born. You're programming. So
you know that there are people that are born in the same area that I could have been born in, which obviously I wasn't born there.
On the greater average is all I'm saying. Anyways, I'm not trying to make a. Anyways, I don't really want to argue or even debate because I've got to go to the gym. So.
Yeah, go to the gym.
No, you're gonna stay and talk about it.
Go to the gym. No, go to the gym, Fatty. Isn't it kind of funny?
Christianity, white Negro Christianity. You can depict Christ in all kinds of ways. You can't name your kids Jesus. But in Islam, you can't depict Muhammad, but every kid's named Muhammad.
But part of
Yeah, but in Mexico, everybody.
they call it
Everybody's Jesus.
Yeah.
I said white Anglo. Mexicans don't count. They're not real people.
Yeah, but it's not. You don't just depict. You don't.
That's too though.
I really like Mexicans. I've been interacting with them.
It was a fucking
But
joke.
pardon. But pardon. We don't depict any of the messengers. Not just Muhammad.
Because you guys can't draw.
No, that's the Orthodox Christians.
Speaking of Orthodox Christians.
That's right.
Speaking of Orthodox Christians, there was a chat where somebody was saying that Orthodox Christians became Muslim, and Randy's like, they wouldn't be Orthodox Christian if they became Muslim, right? So I Googled to find if I could find any Orthodox Muslim that's ever become a Muslim, and I found this Orthodox Christian priest that became a Muslim, and before he was an Orthodox Christian, so he was an Orthodox Christian from 1978, and then was a priest for 2 years. Before that, he was Anglican, and that's like the church, like what they explained as the Church of England. That's what the Anglican are. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Listening to why he converted to Islam.
Sounds like he's wishy-washy.
No, he was Orthodox for like 20 or 30 years, maybe 30 years, and then became priest for 2 years, and then became Muslim.
I'm on my computer right now. I'm not on my phone.
Mm.
But you could get. I mean, they do have mics that you could use for your phone. They're not that expensive.
I'll stick to what I got.
You sound good.
Okay.
You sound good.
But I'm trying to get bitches, Mike.
I mean, look, if you're trying to roll like me, that's different.
And someone else interrogate him with me, I feel like...
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Alone.
More about reason than, I don't know, people probably would take me out of Sunni Islam if I'm being... Like, they probably wouldn't see me as a Sunni Muslim at this point. Because I really, really trust his thoughts. I mean, I pray like a Sunni. But yeah. Does that make sense or no?
Maybe to Zara, but not to me.
Yeah.
Zara, are you Shiite?
I'm just Muslim.
Oh, Shiite.
So then why were you asking that question?
Because it's like they said, I guess different sects.
Yeah, so which sect are you?
I'm Muslim.
The hypocrisy.
It's incredible. Love it though.
But it's interesting because I was listening to this lecture, not this lecture, it was something from a conference that they had that they just posted on YouTube where he was speaking to an audience, and he was referring to some of the Muslims, some historical Muslims from certain schools of thought, and in one of their books they refer to the great teacher, and you would assume that the great teacher that they're referring to is to the Prophet Muhammad, but it's not. Guess who they were referring to?
Told me to get the fuck out and sell the furniture.
They would be referring to Aristotle. And so there was like this, I don't know what century we're talking about, where there was this thing where they felt that they had to master Aristotle. How do you say it? Aristotelian? Yeah, like reason and logic, and be like really firm in that and understand that before they went to the text. It was interesting listening to him speak about it. But as you know, I kind of interpret things weird, so don't trust my words.
Seriously.
I feel like now it doesn't matter anything I say. I've lost all credibility, right, Diego?
No, but I couldn't believe, like,
We're so angry about it.
The monkey is just how it's bad.
Okay, let me just.
Here's your problem. Here's your problem. Your problem is you're not watching these movies. You're not watching these movies. You're watching. You're like.
So angry about it.
You are. That's it. You're consuming them like they're a TV show that you can have in the background while you're on your phone. Okay,
No, I wasn't on my phone, but you're right. But I am getting better about it. And I do like movies in general, like movies and sports. And I'm trying to get back.
You know what it is? Okay. So I don't know if you guys have heard this recently, right? Will, you should talk about this on your podcast. So even at the top tier universities, the professors are complaining that the students claim that they cannot read books anymore. Meaning they were expected throughout, like especially like in places like Columbia University, to read about a book a week. Okay, these kids are incapable of doing this now, and part of it has to do with the fact that when we were growing up, we were. Did you ever do Hooked on Phonics?
I did not do Hooked on Phonics.
I didn't either because it was for the slower kids.
Yeah.
But phonics is the way in which we were taught to read at least 30 years ago. And now it's changed. They call it world language or something like that. They have a different style of teaching how to read. So basically these kids don't know how to read. They're not trained to read. And part of the training to read is not just learning how to read. You also have to be taught how to build. You have to build reading stamina. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You actually have to learn how to stay on a subject like for a long period of time.
Diego.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I really don't like when it comes to.
You don't have movie stamina. You just don't have it. I know you don't have it because you can't remember anything when you watch movies.
But the thing is, I do watch lectures that are 8 hours long, and I can't do that.
What we're trying to say is you're a nice girl, sweetheart, but god damn, you're stupid.
What's your favorite movie?
Me?
Yeah, do you have a favorite?
I mean, I haven't watched movies regularly in a long time.
Do you not have a favorite? Just a favorite?
I do, but I don't wanna say them because I don't know if they're really my favorite.
Doxed. No.
But what I wanted to say, Diego, I don't think it's a woman problem. I think it's like me problem because I think my brain just operates weird. I remember one time my aunt wanted me to chop up the broccoli for her, and so I was like, how do you want me to chop it?
Chopping broccoli.
She was like, doesn't matter. There's no way you can chop it wrong. I'm like, okay. And I found a way to chop it wrong.
Oh my god, damn. Oh my god.
When I did it, she was like lost for words. She was like, I did not think that you. I really think it's a me problem.
Wow. No, you don't have movie watching stamina. You don't have it. It's a thing. It's like reading stamina. Some people can read books, and other people can't do it.
Yeah, because sometimes I go to the theater and just go from movie to movie. Like I did that like earlier this summer.
Exactly. You treat theaters like it's like an Instagram swiping.
No, I would finish the movie and then go to the next one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but do you remember any of them?
He remembers nothing, dude. That's the problem.
But like, okay, Diego. But then the question is, I love Kentucky basketball. Like, why don't I remember what happens when the season's over?
Because basketball is repetitive bullshit, like over and over again. They literally just.
So why don't I?
It takes them about. Tell me anybody that watches
a woman. It's that she's retarded.
I've had just too much brain damage. I don't know what to do.
It literally takes a black guy maybe, was it 5 steps to get across the basketball court?
Diego, have you ever played basketball?
It can't be more than 10.
Like, I you don't understand how much I love basketball. It gives me so much joy, but I haven't been able to watch it regularly for like years.
Well, basketball, I mean, it is cool, but I mean, it is, how do I put it?
Okay, first of all, you're in Arizona, so like, you should, like, Arizona Wildcats are not as big as the Kentucky Kentucky Wildcats, but you do have like a team.
Wait, are you telling me Kentucky Wildcats are a big team?
Yeah, what are you talking about? We're the number
for a while.
Kentucky is like we're the best in the nation. Like we have the all-time wins. We're second behind UCLA.
Is this NBA? Oh, it's college.
College basketball.
No, like U of A was like bigger than them at one point.
No. You've never been bigger than us.
And
Please
what
stop.
in the? Wait, hold on a second. Are you gonna tell me we weren't bigger than you guys in the '90s?
Stick to Gonzaga.
In the early 2000s?
The '90s.
No, I
Do
mean,
you
like
not know,
they literally won the championship. What was it?
You
99
ruined
or 2000? I
No,
forget.
you ruined our repeat. We were going to be
And then-
96, 97, 98, and you beat us in 97. Okay, that's it.
You
So
do
we
realize that college basketball is just one step above the WNBA.
But no, you see, that's what y'all don't understand. And it's not about it's not black people thing because Kentucky's
No, it is. It is a bunch of primitive chimps that, like, literally, if you've had to be in classes with these people,
look at Duke.
they're
Duke is
fucking
like white
retarded.
men.
Why can a chimpanzee swim and well, actually, I will use the term swim.
Basketball.
They can swim from tree branch to tree branch effortlessly with grace. I can't do that, but they can do it. I mean, I don't know, but they're still chimps at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. But
Can you play basketball? Can you play?
He's not a Negro, so like
I know how to play, but can I ever play it well? No.
Can you shoot? Can you take a jump shot?
No.
It doesn't mean anything if he's not 6'4", so
I think look, I'm not against repetitive behavior and learning a skill. Something about the basketball is very retarded to me. I like golf. I don't know, maybe it's the white side of me, but I'll hit that ball I could play golf every day if I had the time. But I can't be in a hard surface. It's very urban. It's a very urban sport.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm on a hard concrete court, and I'm in the sun, practicing basketball. When I'm on a golf course, I'm around nature. I hear the birds chirping, the wind is hitting me, the beautiful trees.
But that's the end of the day.
Nice
So
cabana girl.
Golf is for the people who have normal, peaceful lives, and basketball's for the people who have chaos around them, and they go on the court to kind of bring that chaos.
I'm just curious though, Princessa, how many of your people, the Middle Eastern people, Arabs, how many of them have played basketball professionally?
I don't know, but I got into basketball.
Yeah, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a fucking sub-Saharan African. I'm saying I was specific about Arabs.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but I got into basketball because of my brothers and cousins.
Yeah, but they never were shit. They were never shit though, because they're not famous.
At least 3 basketball players named Muhammad. There's got to be.
Yeah, but they're all black. That doesn't count.
There's a Turkish one that used to play at my school. Actually, he's redshirted, and it's cancer, but he's an Israel shell. So,
okay, but none of them made it in the NBA.
No, and
the Asians have you guys beat out of all people.
Yeah,
you've at least had a couple Chinese that people.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good.
No, it's just like the Slavs, right? They're fucking genetically they're stallions. But can they play soccer? Fuck no, dude. I don't know why. I think their legs are too thick or something. There's gotta be something that doesn't work. But yeah, Arabs are not good at they're not good at basketball. Or golf, by the way. In golf, Arabs are beat by Asians and Indians.
They have low IQs. I mean, they're too inbred.
I have a theory on basketball.
We're definitely not low IQ.
You guys, actually, if you look at the Arabs and Middle Easterners in general, you guys actually have much lower IQs than I'm dead serious.
Hold on.
Lower than Mexico. It's crazy.
But you can just look out in Gaza and see the things that are coming out, and I don't see other people doing that. I would say no.
Latinos have. Even the brown Latinos, they have you guys beat.
No. Well, Latinos are the best boxers in the world. But hold on, Abdul had a theory. I want to hear this.
I have a theory on basketball because internationally there's been, like Pepe said,
there's been some tall ass Asians dominating the NBA, but there's also been Serbians.
Just one Yao Ming.
Well, yeah, Yao Ming. But here's the thing. I have this theory that like there's rich ass parents that literally breed their children and give them HGH and have them on certain stacks, right? So it's like a form of eugenics in a sense, where it's like, yo, I want my kids to kick ass.
You think they do that when they're kids?
Yeah. Oh, bro, academies and shit. Like, there's kids. There's literally like basketball players that are sophomores that are like 6'8". Who literally, like, we're talking like D1 academy.
But even before HGH was like popular, I mean, the thing about like, let's look at a sport like boxing, for example. Yes, at the lower weight classes, Mexicans and I'll just say Hispanic people have always been kind of formidable. Asians can be very formidable in the lowest weight classes.
What about orange people?
They can be too. And
I was just wondering about your race.
And then when it comes to whites and blacks, I mean, whites have absolutely put out great boxers. If you look at the the heaviest weights, like blacks tend to be dominant. When it comes to, I forget the original question, the answer. But I mean,
that's your low IQ there.
Amazing.
Wait. So, you know, what are Arabs good at when it comes to sports? I'm thinking.
Like, there's literally kids that are bred for sports, and it's so crazy.
Oh, I remember my original point. So before HGH, and even like testosterone, before it was like mainstream, you still kind of saw the same. You saw the same trends. It was like when it comes to like Western sports,
people make their points quicker, so please be quicker.
So when it comes to like basketball, baseball, football, generally Western men are going to be primarily white men and black men, and a lot of Latinos, they'll kind of fit the bill. If we look at the Hispanic people that are dominant in like sports like baseball, for example, they tend to come from like the Dominican Republic, so they have some white, some black, some Indian, whatever. But I mean, these are larger people. And they're like football, basketball. Obviously, height and size matters. Football, speed and size matter. And when it comes to baseball, size also really matters. I mean, how far you're going to hit a ball means a lot, and of course, speed means a lot. These are things that I think like kind of weed out the vast majority of Middle Easterners and Asians.
Okay, bro.
I'm being honest. Like, white people are not a monolith either. Like, if you look at the white people that are, that played professional football or even part of a college football team, they tend to be Northern Europeans that are like, they're really built, they're really strong. Southern Europeans like me, that's not very common phenotype. So that's generally not going to be us. Samoans are super they're 45 times more likely. I'm 5'11". I'm too short to be.
What's crazy is that white guys tend to be the quarterback, and there's like no in between. It's like you either get the white guy on the soccer team that can kick the ball, or the Hispanic.
Yeah, but then black guys. So if you're going to be a strong safety or any of the positions that require speed, they're all black. I mean, there is like a difference there. And Samoans are 45 times more likely to be to make it into the NFL than the average. They don't do it by race, but in comparison to other Americans. But we can look at Samoans. They're big, strong people. It makes perfect sense. Like,
yeah, Samoans are typically linebackers. Like USC, I don't know what it is, but USC has to pull on Hawaii. Hawaii has a lot of Samoan, and they do a lot of heavy recruiting. That's why they had Lewin Setopa or whatever, Troy Polamalu, a lot of Hawaii. They generally, like, if they're looking for those big ass Samoans, they go to Hawaii for their recruiting.
So and to be fair, like there's definitely there's Middle Eastern boxers that have been really good. And of course, this is by weight class, and that means a lot because different populations have different sizes on average of men. But no, there has. What is the name of the guy from Yemen? I forget his fucking name. He's a really good boxer. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just every sport is different. It's okay. I would rather be Arab than black at the end of the day. Like, I'm not making fun of your people. but there is like a superiority when it comes to certain races and their average athletic abilities. We cannot deny that.
My family's very athletic.
Okay, I mean, that's cool, but I'm talking about like
real athleticism.
So, like, when it comes to so the distribution, so there's like an average distribution for every group of people, and some groups are going to have like far more people overrepresented on the tail ends. Like when it comes to black people and speed, like the average black person might be somewhat fast, but a fast white person is faster than them. But when it comes to the fastest people, you're going to see like people that are West African or have West African lineage, they're going to be highly overrepresented, which means they're going to produce people that are generally faster than everybody else. The same goes for like Scandinavians and people from the Baltic country. To me, it's like it's not even necessarily racial. It's hyper regional. Like black people are some of the best distance runners and some of the best sprinters. And you can't have both qualities.
Like OG. They're from straight out of Africa, blacks though.
Yeah, I mean Ethiopians are. It's a very specific ethnic group and region of Ethiopians that are like the best distance runners. They evolved living in a high altitude. But it's well, no, I mean I'm just saying like it's not like every group is different, and we should not like be upset because one group on average tends to do something better than us. I mean, I would rather be okay. Let's say I was born like some West African, ripped, chiseled, could get muscle easily, but I had like an 80 IQ. Maybe I even had a big dick.
I have a question. I thought about this question earlier. Would you rather be bald or be an Indian, a dark Indian, like a dark brown Indian with like full head of hair?
Bald.
Jesus Christ.
I would shave dude, I would literally just.
What about you, Diego? Which one would you rather be?
Wait, you didn't complete the fucking thing.
Yeah, would you rather be like a like a very dark skinned, almost black Indian that has an amazing hairline, full head of hair, has all that going, or would you rather be a white man who's bald?
Jesus. I mean, since you didn't put any more criteria, I'd rather be a bald white man. but I hope you're not like thinking that means I want to look like John.
No, I just saw this video of this dude, like this Indian guy on Instagram who had like this crazy head of hair. I was like, I wonder if guys would rather have this head of hair and be Indian or be like bald and not be Indian.
I mean, the thing is, the average white guy is a lot more attractive than the average fucking Indian man. At least to women in the West. Like, why would you want to look like that?
I just didn't know how significant hair is for men.
I mean, it's pretty significant.
But
whiteness is more important than hair, right?
I think like so like my brother, I have nappy fucking hair, and I used to be jealous of my middle brother.
What? So you straighten your hair because it looks straight in your photo, bro?
No, so I'll just blow. I blow dried it. And so like, but if it was just to be natural, like not just like towel dry it, it'd be like my hair is very coarse. it would look, just like, but anyways, my brother, he had like hair that was just like kind of like more white people-ish hair, I guess you can say.
But you have more orange people hair, and he has more white.
Amazing. Yes. And so I basically, but like he went bald like pretty quickly in his early 20s, and like, I mean, I know it kind of like affected him, but he, he's married. He's a little bit smarter than me. Has a law degree and he's a CPA. He's a CFO. Makes good money.
A lot smarter than you, dude.
And so, like, probably, but like he's with the same. So, what's weird is that, and she'll say this. His wife will say that, like, oh, like I like loved his hair when I first met him, and so he was actually walking out of a restaurant in Tucson, right next to University of Arizona, and went up to him and approached him and asked for his number. And, that was like 20 some fucking years ago, and they've been dating ever since. Or dating, and then now they're married. But now he's bald. I don't know. I guess I'd rather have my fucked up curly hair that hasn't fallen out.
I mean, hair is so nice, dude. But, you'll lose it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, look at Arnold. He's losing it.
I mean, I'm going gray, too, like...
But, Diego, that your, like, surrogate grandfather, you said he has a full head of hair, and he's like...
Yeah, I'm not related to him genetically. That guy's a Croat. He looks like honestly, he looks like a Nazi. He's got blue eyes. He's got like a nose to give you an example of like the type of nose he has. You know that nose that Clint Eastwood has? It's just tiny.
Is this her relative?
Oh, yeah. What?
Is this like a relative of hers, or
it's a surrogate grandfather of mine.
Oh.
I met him when he was maybe 80 or 79, and like I stay with him a lot whenever I go to the East Coast, and him and his wife treat me like I'm a grandson. And he was in World War II. But he's in his 90s. But he has, I don't want to say he's got more hair than me, but almost.
Oh, wow.
I think he's got better coverage. It's all white, of course. And he's got blue eyes. He doesn't wear glasses, which is fucking insane. He does, though, have to use hearing aid, so you have to kind of yell at him. But that's because he, like, never wore ear protection in the military or on airplanes. And he's, like, still healthy. And he doesn't work out or anything.
Did they reproduce?
They did, yeah.
And how did
he did. She did not.
Okay, how does his children look?
Well, all I can say, because I've never actually met them, is that his daughter was a smoke show, but that looks like it was in the 70s.
Oh.
So, whenever I stay in there, no, she has sons too, but he doesn't have any photos of him. But every time I stay in their house, I stay at their daughter's old room, and there's like a picture of her and her mom, who died in the 70s. But that's how old this guy is. Like, he's lived like many lives.
Wow.
And anyway, but she's like super hot in that photo. But I mean, at this point, she's got to be 50 something or 60 something.
I'm just curious. Like, you said you had a surrogate grandfather. Like, how did trying to understand? Did they have sperm banks back then, or? I'm just trying to like. I know.
Maybe I should have used that word. What is the better word?
I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling.
No, I know. Like an adopted grandfather, not a surrogate grandfather. There you go.
Yeah, adopted. I don't know what you want. Whatever, call it what you want. I don't care. But they treat me like a grandson. I'm not related to them in any way.
Okay.
But I think I've seen them more than they've seen their own children over the last 15 years.
So I'm
And
just curious.
the way I know that is because of the things that they offer to give me for free, which are like these things are things that are they're not just heirlooms. They're things that are extremely expensive, which you would only give to your kids if you were going to give them away.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just
they like to offer them to me.
So I'm just curious, like on a scale from 1 to 10, like how, okay, like we know what I'm trying to see how to phrase this. So like, if you look at Mexican in the United States, on a scale from 1 to 10, like how much do you look like a Mexican?
He doesn't look like a Mexican. Diego?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a Mexican at all.
Oh.
I've been around Mexicans like yesterday I was around some Mexicans because I was doing something, and Diego looks nothing like them.
That's fine.
What is Diego?
I'm gonna PTR myself so that you can just.
He doesn't look Mexican at all. He looks like a white American.
I mean, there's a lot of white people in Mexico. They just tend not to be the ones that come.
PTR is that?
Oh God.
No, he doesn't look Mexican at all.
I'm here for you. No, I would say. No, I would say if you see my regular PTR, you would. I mean, that could be any one of my uncles or anybody like. The guy who played Zorro. That's who it's supposed to be, by the way.
Anthony Quinn.
No, not Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn was Mexican.
Oh, I don't know, but I know. Who is the guy who plays Zorro?
The guy in my PTR.
What's his name?
Guy Williams. But that's not his real name. He's Sicilian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but a lot of Sicilians look like beaners, so I mean.
Right. That's why he played a Spanish, gentleman.
But Pepe, the stereotype of what you think of a Mexican, Diego does not look like.
It's not a stereotype. I mean, Mexicans.
No,
Mexicans
are very diverse. I've seen diverse, looking Mexicans. But, what you assume, what you think of when you think of a Mexican, or at least what I think of when I think of a Mexican, Diego doesn't look like.
Gotcha.
But I do, I mean.
Do you think you look Mexican, Diego?
Well, I haven't let out my mustache and my goatee, but it starts to get real ethnic if I do that. It'll get I would call it more like my hair grows a la conquistador.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? I don't have that. I don't have the great coverage of a Scotsman or something where they grow that beard that goes all the way up their cheeks, almost below their eyes. I don't have that kind of simian hair growth.
But Mexicans,
you look more white than Pepe looks white.
Yeah, you don't even know what I like. Okay, I'll just.
I'm looking at your photo right now, Pepe.
I know it's good. Give another fucking picture.
I'm trying to think if I just see Diego walking just down the street. What do I think? I think he looks like a white guy that was probably in a fraternity.
Oh my god. So what does Lou look like?
Are you asking me or are you asking Pepe? Because I don't want Lou.
I think Lou is also Sicilian, no?
I don't know.
Sicilian.
Pepe, did you change your photo?
I
look very
I'm
Arab.
looking for one.
What is? Oh, okay.
I mean, let's put it to you like this: Napoleon was supposed to be Corsican, but he wasn't really ethnically Corsican.
No, he was Italian. His parents were Italian.
Right. So he doesn't look like the people from whence he came.
Diego looks more Spanish than he looks Mexican.
Spaniards can look like what I would consider Mexican, though. If you're gonna look at Penelope Cruz, I would immediately peg her as being a Mexican.
Yeah, Penelope Cruz.
Even though she's 100% European, like
Penelope Cruz is gorgeous. I like Penelope Cruz more than Salma Hayek.
Something I didn't realize, Pepe, until very recently watching the Olympics, is that, physically speaking, Spanish women may have the best bodies of all time, but only if they're exercised and trained.
And whatever it is, like with Latin women, like their I know it sounds kind of vulgar, but like their body shape, they're just like there's something different about them.
But Mexicans, are they like stereotypically just smaller in general, Diego?
Shorter.
Mexicans?
Yeah.
The question is, are they smaller?
Yeah, like
they're generally shorter and they're generally not that built compared to like other people in the West. But I mean, so like here's the weird thing: if I go to Mexico, Mexico and like I'm 5'11", right? So I'm taller than most Mexicans, but they would not consider me tall. There's still Mexicans that are like, there's plenty of them that are like 6 foot plus. Like it's they're kind of. They kind of span the spectrum.
I think what you're thinking about, okay, is a very particular type of Mexican, Indian.
I did some videos. I'll send you.
You have to see, like, if you go on Instagram right now and just choose a random high class restaurant in Mexico City and just look at the Instagram like tags, just look at pictures of people, and you're gonna see in Mexico City. Most people are light-skinned. They're lighter than me. However, Mexico City people are notorious for being short and small.
Okay.
So, part of it has to do with where they come from in Spain, and another part has to do with some of their admixture mixing with the little Mexicans.
Yeah. You know how you assume a lot of Arabs are shorter? Like, I'm around, like, when it comes to men, like, taller. So,
yes.
like, that's what I think of, like Palestinians. Like, I assume that they're just, like,
Palestinians are taller? Okay. So,
for me, because, like, that's what I'm surrounded by. You know what I mean?
Right. So, Apaches and Comanches, which span the southwest of the United States and northwest of Mexico, are really, really big. So, for example, if you look at Canelo is he's. Have you seen his brothers, Pepe?
Yeah, Canelo. Right? Yeah, Canelo. His brothers are
they're all dark.
They all look. They're darker than him, but they're like they still span the spectrum. Most of them still look European.
I don't pick dudes. I mean TTRs.
Okay, I showed a PTR. This is me living in Alaska. Okay, you know.
Like Diego, this is my brother next to a dude. Like, look how tall my brother is compared to the dude that he's standing next to.
She's not orange. Luna. Look at him.
He's not orange?
PTR.
Oh, I didn't. Hold on, my phone's freezing. Oh. Let's see. I don't know. I still see orange.
Amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna PTR Canelo's brothers.
Who's the girl? She's cute.
It's my ex.
Oh.
Get back with her.
No,
she's cute.
Done.
Why?
I wasted 8 years of my life with her.
What? So you switched them on?
Well, yeah, I saved like photos and took pictures of it.
PTR, yeah.
Canelo had 7 sons. Wow. Like, can you imagine, dude?
But what's really weird is that, like, I don't know if you've seen this, but, like, I have, like, there was this guy, his last name was Mendoza. He was he's a teacher and a coach at one of the schools I went to. And his son was, like, super white. Like, you would never thought he was Mexican. I had so many friends that were, like, half Mexican, where the dad's, like stereotypical brown Mexican, and they just did not, you could never tell.
I think you're Somali, Pepe.
I All I'm saying is that Apaches and Comanches are regularly, you can read about this in the Cowboys books and stuff. They're regularly over 6 feet tall. They're very large Indians.
Yeah, do you see the photo of my brother next to the black guy?
And Canelo's from Sonora, I think. So
he's from Jalisco, I think. Guadalajara.
Okay, take it back.
Is that in Jalisco?
How tall is he?
He's probably like 5'9" to 5'10".
Let's see. He's 5'7". Okay, so never mind. He's definitely from Guadalajara, where people are small. 5'7" is a regular stature over there.
But if you look, what is that place that
honestly, now that I know he's 5'7", I kind of take back like if he could survive Jake's fall.
But no, trust me, he's not. No, dude. Yeah, so Dmitry Bulov, he okay. So he fought somebody who won a gold medal in the Olympics, who's always remained at the same weight, but he's always like really, he's somebody who's like 20 pounds heavier before he makes weight. Somebody who's just a naturally much tougher, somebody who's remained in a weight class that can dominate it. And then you have somebody like Canelo who goes to a higher weight with a guy who just like throughout his amateur and professional career has fought at this weight. Like he's not going to. It was a super risky fight with somebody like Paul. I don't see it happening, and I don't think he would ever do it. It's just too much of a. First of all, he's somebody who would never, at least this is my opinion, try to take it light on somebody, and no boxing commission is going to let somebody of his experience and caliber have an actual like real fight. If you look at the actual fight that they had, him and Mike Tyson had, their gloves were like big. It's one of the first things I noticed. They were 14-ounce gloves. They didn't have the 10-ounce fight gloves. It was just kind of a fucking joke. Like somebody like Canelo Alvarez, I can promise you would fucking murder him.
And then the 8 rounds, they don't only go 8 rounds. Canelo would go 12 rounds. I mean, if he's really gonna fight him, that would never happen.
These were 2-minute rounds that they had. A normal fight is 3-minute round.
3-minute round.
I know nothing about boxing, but did you see Muhammad Ali's grandson?
Okay. When we were kids, they used to go 15 rounds.
Wow.
It was Boom Mancini. Yeah, 3 minutes.
Wow.
Boom Mancini had gotten, he was fighting, I forget the name of the Korean boxer's name, but basically he died in the ring, and at that point they decided, well, I will try to make it 12-round fights.
Which is by the way, 15 rounds is much better.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want. Ultimately, we want them to go to near death.
From a showbiz perspective, sure.
What do you think of Muhammad Ali's grandson?
Who?
Muhammad Ali's grandson. No?
I'm not familiar.
Muhammad Ali III? Who are you talking about?
You don't know Muhammad Ali's grandson? Here, I put a reel right here. I keep up with this.
I put a reel in the chat, y'all.
Yeah, he's talking about how he was. They were gonna pay him like millions to fight Jake Paul, whatever his name is. He's like, I'm not gonna fight him. I want to fight like real boxers.
It's true. So like, I don't want to like say Jake Paul's not a real boxer.
His name is Nicola Walsh. Nicola Walsh. Walsh. It's the link is there. Check it out.
So I would say that when it comes to Jake Paul, he's not. It's not that I wouldn't say he's a boxer. Oh, thank you. I would say that it's basically he's So first of all, he didn't go through the journey that actual boxers had to go through. So like if you're a amateur, for example, most of these people don't come from shit. So a boxing coach at an amateur gym or rec center or wherever throughout the world, they have to kind of prioritize who they're going to give the most training to. And you have to be somebody who like really does well as an amateur, and then you get like 20, 30, whatever professional fights without a loss. And, which is, it's obviously something very hard to do. And then you kind of can start making the big bucks. He didn't go through any of that. He has never fought a competitive boxer that is in their prime, that is contending for a belt. And so it's just like to say like he's I would say he's not a serious basketball player if he can't play for the NBA.
No.
Okay, but he is somebody who is playing on like some fucking team somewhere, and he's giving it what he got, all that he has, whatever. He's not a serious boxer.
Okay. I put on the chat something I saw on Twitter a few days ago. I was dying when I saw that. You guys can check it out.
I can't believe y'all don't know Muhammad Ali has grandsons that are boxers.
Well, his daughter was a boxer.
Layla. Yeah, but this is from his other daughter. She's married to a white man, and so.
Yeah, I mean, he's not it's just because you're somebody who participates in a sport doesn't like. I'm somebody who was an amateur boxer, and I sparred like up until like right into the end of the pandemic, and would train and stuff. It's like a routine I had, and I don't know, like it's just like some people just don't know their fucking plays. I would not compare myself. Like, even if I had, you can become a pro fighter, but that still doesn't mean shit. You can be a horrible boxer and get a pro boxing license, but that does not like put you on the level of actual. I guess you could say like high caliber boxers that are fighting for belts. It's just not a. It's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, okay, you want to get a guy who's 58, and even then, like we saw, he was gassing out. He was not able to. I mean,
he was holding his punches, dude. He was purposely pretending to be gassed out.
And I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he's pretending, but
yeah. We all saw the video where he was training. Like, he was not doing what he had trained for. And that's fine. Like, I think he legitimately trained. He got super strong. He could have murdered the guys. But he saw through his contract.
Isn't that Olympic saying?
Literally, everybody keeps reposting on X. You can see how he pulls his punches.
Yeah.
There was a really good one. I don't know if anybody saw where he would have knocked that motherfucker out because he blocked he blocked the wrong. He didn't anticipate what Tyson was going to do, and Tyson just had to hold back.
Well, I saw one video where it showed that he was supposedly pulling his right hand, The thing is, though, is that if I was where he was standing at that point in time, okay, would I have also probably not thrown that hand? Yes. He was in a position to where he would not be able to shuffle out of the way to avoid a counter left hook, and so that is where, and I think it's like where people who aren't experienced enough in boxing to like, it's just like shit like that is super obvious to people who are, you know, just have like some experience boxing. I think that to me that was like completely unconvincing. Do I think that at the end of the day, do I think that the contract probably, was there a deal agreed upon where Mike Tyson would not beat his ass? Yeah, absolutely. But that example I thought was kind of like it was a nothing burger.
I did not see Jake Paul show, although he's clearly trained well, by the way, I should say. Like, he clearly has boxing skills. Like, I just did not see stamina in him.
Do you box, Diego?
No. I mean, I've taken classes, but...
Well, his coach, like, BJ Flores, he wasn't his coach this fight, but, like, BJ Flores, which was the coach, I've sparred his fighters. He's actually a really good coach.
Did you see the Serrano Taylor fight?
No.
The girls? Oh, it was the best, dude. You gotta go on Netflix and watch it. It was such a great fight. These women were unbelievable. Both of them were fucking excellent boxers. I was like, oh my god, if I ever pissed a girl like this off, she'd murder me.
Oh no.
Yeah, they were incredible.
Those girls would murder most men.
Yeah. But Katie Taylor and Serrano, like, she gave her two really hard headbutts and split the shit out of her brow. It was hanging off the eyelid.
That's a really common place to get. So, like, when it comes,
is it your own bone that splits the skin?
Well, so the fucked up part about no, it's not headbutts. It's okay. So for example, the reason, do you ever notice how they face? So lean on your face.
Is he cutting out for me?
It's cutting out for both of us.
Okay, how they lean for what? You said something about leaning.
Oh, can you hear me?
You were just cutting out for a second.
Oh, sure. I mean, have you noticed how they like smear Vaseline on your boxers' faces?
Yeah.
Okay, and the main reason is that like leather and a glove. Just think about it. Like, even if you were to take your own fist and just like rub it against your cheek.
Right.
But of course, if you rub it against your eyelid, which is like the thinnest portion of skin on your face, it sticks. Leather and skin, it basically, leather will grip your skin and it will tear it open. And so that's why they have Vaseline. When it comes to, it's like injuries like that is not surprising. It's literally the most vulnerable part that you're going to get a skin tear.
Gotcha. Well, she basically, you could see the headbutt. They showed it in slow motion. She headbutted her, and that part of her head split open, and it started bleeding immediately. They cleaned it up. The cut man cleaned it up, put Vaseline in it. And then they kept fighting, and a couple rounds later, she hit her again. You could just see her eyes closed really hard, and the fucking blood just started gushing out of that wound. It got bigger, and she started going blind. She couldn't see anything with the fucking blood in her eyes. But they didn't call it, dude. They let her. She still had like another 4 rounds to go.
Yeah, the reason why, so when it comes to cuts, because they're like, it's not life-threatening. In other words, so okay. So one of the let's say you're somebody who's like winning a fight, but then you have like a cut that's just bleeding from your near your eyelid, and the ref calls the fight. Okay, but you're gonna win. That ends up it looks bad because it's just like, okay, well, like this person, you literally took this person's ability to win the title. And the same thing happened. So like in amateur boxing, you have to wear headgear, but you're more likely to get a concussion wearing headgear. So in the last Olympics, not this last Olympics, the one before that, they're like, okay, we're not going to have headgear in the Olympics. Now you would get somebody who would win a fight, but they would get a gash in their, a tear in their skin, and they would get medically disqualified from going on to the next fight. So they lost their chance at a medal. Mm-hmm. And so, like, headgear is basically best at preventing, that shit from happening. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's, if you look at UFC, like UFC, it's far bloodier and more violent looking, but in reality, it's like way safer than boxing.
I just saw the Muay Thai World Championship. That was fucking brutal.
I mean, getting bloody doesn't mean you're gonna die. Like, but continually getting punched in the fucking head is like, that's like not a good fucking thing.
What happened to Muhammad Ali at the end?
Exactly, and he's somebody who
barely got touched.
Barely, but like I think but Frazier ended up, like, I was so cringe like looking at it. Like, Frazier ended up throwing a left hook, it hit him and knocked him. It was so violent that it wasn't just him falling down, but it's just like, because of the physics, the force caused him just to be flattened, and he looked dazed for a minute, and then he got up and continued to fight. Like, he's somebody who's like super abnormal for his ability to take a fucking punch. And normally what happens is once you get your first concussion, it's kind of like a sign of a decline, because once you get knocked out, you're going to get, in succession, you're going to get knocked out more easily each and every time.
Yeah, the Mexicans have a word for it. It's called tocado. It kind of means like, once you've been knocked out, your chin becomes weaker.
Well, yeah, your brain, like, literally, your brain is going to shut off. Like,
and then some of these guys also, after they get knocked out, they're never as aggressive. They're always more cautious too. I think that happened to Tyson. Do you remember Tyson's last fight? His last professional fight. Remember he tapped out?
Yeah. So being gun shy is something that can happen. Like the Mexican style of boxing is so it's unique. They get called brawlers, which is somewhat correct, but they do a lot of inside fighting, which is actually a lot of what we consider like beautiful looking boxing. It's actually somewhat technical, but it's not nearly as technical as the inside fighting. And there's a lot you have to learn as a pro to do it. And it's a lot of but I will say that, like, with a lot of these Mexicans, they do have really tough chins, and they'll give each other a lot of fucking damage. It's I don't know. It's Mexican fighters they're just so different. I would say, like, if you're gonna look at like Mickey, the fuck is that Irishman and the fucking Sicilian that fought each other? Forgetting their names, but they were two like Americans that had a somewhat similar style to Mexicans. but they would brutalize each other in the fucking ring. There was 3 fights.
I know Gennady Golovkin says he fights Mexican style.
Well, it was Gatti, Gatti versus the fuck is his name? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Hatton. Gatti versus Hatton. Like, they had 3 fights, and this was, like, at least in modern times, like, their fights were considered the most brutal by a long shot. You had this Irishman and this Sicilian that would just, like, slaughter the ever-living shit out of each other. Like, I mean, they were brutal. I mean, they were both technically good boxers that would just, I don't know, they were... But yeah, Mexicans are, you know, if you look at, like, Julio Cesar Chavez, he fought, so what's really weird, so, like, Floyd Mayweather is, like, quote-unquote 50-0, but Julio Cesar Chavez, he was actually like 90-0, but kept on going and then finally lost.
Oh, it's pretty crazy.
Like, consider, like,
I would say he's got the most beautiful knockouts that I've ever seen.
Who?
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a phenomenal boxer. I mean,
yeah.
Shit, well, I gotta go. I'll see you guys.
Okay.
Another one bites the dust. I'm picking my next movie that I'm gonna watch.
You have to watch The Siege. I already told you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
Nice. Unfortunately, I have to buy it. It's not on Amazon Prime.
That's right. You do have to buy it.
Is that where you're watching it, on Amazon Prime? Huh?
No, on Apple TV.
Oh, I don't have Apple TV. It's rent movie. Huh?
It's worth buying, know that.
No, I know,
You
because
can tell me all this stuff about how well they captured, like, the Hamas thing.
I know, isn't that crazy? That they're talking
The fact that
about
there are no Jews in the movie.
There's no Jews in the movie? No way.
Only when they're clearing out civilians, they show the Hasidim.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Siege, it's 1 hour and 56 minutes. Not long. Is that brown guy? Huh?
I'm glad you think that's not long.
I know you think I have movie, whatever you called it, but I don't. Malcolm X was like 3 hours. I watched that.
Oh, did you? Did you watch that recently?
No, I watched it a few years ago. I need to rewatch it with Denzel.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's very good. The part that sticks in my head right now, as you know, like my memory isn't the greatest with the stuff, but it's when he's coloring his hair in jail. Doesn't he do that? Like there's a scene where he has dyed his hair in jail.
You know, I don't remember that. I remember him. The beginning of the movie is all about him doing the straightener.
Yeah, relaxing his hair. Yeah.
Relaxing his hair.
What is your thoughts about Malcolm X? Because I heard you allude to him here and there, in a negative way, like people who are like Malcolm X people. Do you have thoughts on him?
Based on what I saw in that movie?
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty badass guy.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's only based on. It's only based on that movie, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really know enough about him, but based on what I saw in that movie, I think he's pretty. He seemed like he was honorable while Elijah Muhammad was being a bad man.
Yeah, you know they're trying to paint him as a homosexual now. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how after he died, like, huh?
Yeah, it seems a little bit like suspect. Like there's something seemed off there.
Yeah. What do you think about Martin Luther and him, like compared to Malcolm X?
I would say Malcolm X, just based on my limited study, Malcolm X sounds like the more based guy.
Yeah, more integrity.
More integrity, yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's just based off very limited information that I have.
Yeah. One of his daughters.
Lou! Did you just wake up, Lou?
Yeah.
Jeez. When is he ever gonna learn? My boy Lou. Little boy Lou. He needed the money. You don't know that?
It's from that one movie.
Come on, Lou. What did you do? And who did you do it to? I can do the voice fry thing too. Who is Lou Fax, Lou? Jesus.
Lou Fax is that guy that always has those rooms, right? Like black people rooms. Is that who you're talking about, Adrian?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Deputy?
Good morning! Oh, in case I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Thank you.
So have you guys made any exciting new Jewish conspiracy theory discoveries since I've been gone?
How was your workout?
Oh, it was good. Just got back. Just got myself a slice of.
Workout.
I know.
Living your best life.
They say they close at 10, but they close at 9:40. It's such bullshit.
Oh wow, that's messed up.
But
Hey, people want to go home, you know?
don't worry, this isn't the Jewish complaint line. It's just your Jewish complaint line.
Are you gonna rewatch that video to see what we were talking about, or no?
No, I assure you, I won't be going back in time with you.
You missed all our good anti-Semitic jokes. Oh my god. Now we were gonna basically do what you do. We're gonna take a 5-minute break here. Go ahead, Deputy.
I'll tell you, folks, this next gentleman comes from Brooklyn, okay? And I guess the best way to describe him is to say he's the typical boy next door. Say hello to Andrew Dice Clay, okay? Here we go. Miss Moffat sat on a coffin, eating, prepared some wine. Long came a Spidey, sat down beside him, said, "Hey, what's in the bowl, bitch?" Talking to him, Trim that pussy, it's so damn hairy. Oh, Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her old dog a bone. She bent over. Rover took over. She got a bone of her own. I don't know. Yeah, get old Mother Goose. Remember her? I fought her. That's unbelievable, man. So is that the girl? Yeah. How long you going with her? 4 months, huh? Cheating? Yeah, true. And me too. But you gotta be careful, you know, when you get a good one, because there's a lot of disease you can do. It's not like 4 or 5 years ago, where you could come home by with a straight face. They'd be like, where were you all night? Having coffee with the guys. Anybody was cheating on me? No, I was having coffee. Really? Yeah, sure I was, honey. But if you do cheat on her, do yourself a favor with one of those condoms. You know what I'm talking about? But those things piss me off because they only come on one side. I mean, what do black guys do? Go for a fitting? Yeah, 3 feet, man. Extra pain. I don't want to blow the roof on this sucker. Yeah. And think of the Chinese. Come on. Put a piece of gum on it. All right, so you're going with 4 months, huh? All right. She throw a nice one. All right. Bottom line, you suck a good dick, yes or no? I mean, did she suck a full on the train like that here afterwards? To me, that's a lady, you know what I'm saying? But some people, they don't suck dick the way they used to. They dabble in it. They light it, they click it, they smack it. Look at the way it jumps. They can sing and dance, don't suck like cock, honey. And you know they don't know what they're doing because the minute they stop, they gotta look right into your eyes. It's like you're looking down at a goldfish, you know? It's like, why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me? Don't look at me, suck my dick, concentrate. And jump on the balls, honey. They all fits, honey. It's a 3-piece set, work it. Own it, you can't party with the big boys, don't show up. I mean, they like us to go down on men. Gotta see the general plumps. It's frightening. It's like a haunted house down there. It's covered with shrubbery and weeds. You gotta punch through with a machete. And depending on that move, sometimes I'll just lay it. Like you're like, you gotta check in. Honey, I ain't right ballpark. What are we back in the truck in here? Because once you go down there, this ain't no 5-minute trip. This is a weekend. And I'll tell you something, 10 minutes it gets boring, you know? That's why we're a Walkman. Oh, yeah. And then they turn around and say I'm not sensitive. I don't understand that. My girlfriend, she's like, well, what about foreplay? I go, honey, didn't I smack you around already today? I like that one, she'll live with it, man. You'll hear things like, well, why do I always get the wet spot? Honey, be happy you're on the bed when I'm chewing you. Look at the ball. We don't even have a pillow. He ain't complaining. So what if we have the same ball? You got the fucking bed. I care about my needs. I mean, yeah, just tonight. anymore. You see what I'm saying? I remember my mother going, "We're having liver." Did I hear? Well, I had it last night. It was good. And where the Japanese coming from? What is that? Didn't we drop 2 bombs on them a couple years ago? What was in those bombs? Fertilizer. And now the worst drivers, I mean, how do you drive with your eyes 3/4 closed, huh? You could blindfold these people with dental floss. You don't give a piece to a car. It's unbelievable what I see. I can't take it no more. I'm going out of my fucking mouth. I mean, I go into these all-night 24-hour convenience. They got people. These aren't even people. They don't even have a language for things that work in there. You go in for soda, cigarettes. You're like, well, how much? How much? And they're like, he's doing what you do. They do what you do. And I'm like, you fucking geek. Where did that grow you, huh? What farm were you picked up on? I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the God's honest. They should have one big sign at the airport that says, look, if you don't know the language, get the fuck out of the country.
Lou, you have to like that humor because you're Italian.
That whole thing, Dangerfield, or was it? It sounded like
No, that's not Dangerfield at all. That's just at Dangerfield telling you.
There's a Dangerfield.
It was Dangerfield introducing him.
Oh.
The Dangerfield. Yeah, Lou. But then I started hearing you laugh. Did you hear the nursery rhymes or no?
What was it again?
Said Jack and Jill went up the hill, both with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Little Miss Mary, quite contrary, trim that pussy, it's so damn hairy. Little boy Blue, he needed the money. Aren't you supposed to be at work, Lou?
No, I got 2 hours.
With that voice fry.
A few hours. I need to leave in like 2 hours.
2 hours from now, I gotta leave. Voice fry, it's not good for you, Lou. It's not good.
Nigger, I just woke up.
Nigger, how am I supposed to go to sleep if you aren't available to moderate my room? I guess I'm just gonna have to give it to Edmund.
Dude, I want my old account back.
So what? That's right. Alright, I'm gonna go and watch the end of The Siege.
He loves so
that bitch. That bitch.
He loves so fast. That's awesome. It's just gonna be Joy and Deputy. I'm not saying.
Yes, okay. You should watch this movie though. Don't be lazy.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
And don't start movies until you have to finish them. It's okay if I don't finish them because I'm rewatching the movie. I'm rewatching the movie. But you are watching a movie for the first time. You have to watch it from beginning to end. It's
Yes,
an
sir.
experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, Captain. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna call you Private. Private Bandura.
Private Bandura.
Go. You are ordered to be at ease and listen to some some Islamic prayers before you go to sleep. So you can find a room where people are discussing or whatever you have to. Because the other option is that you go into some room with friends or with someone else and you get in a fight and then you're not going to sleep well.
Yeah. Alright.
Alrighty?
Thank you, Captain.
Okay. At ease, soldier.
Get a fucking life, losers.
This is your room now. This is your room. You control it.
Why would you be so mean, Joy? Farewell, Joy.
Okay, so welcome back. to the Jewish Conspiracy Derangement Syndrome show with Don Diego and his neo-Nazi assistant, Princessia.
Diego's not here. He already left.
I know, but this is my YouTube channel. What do you mean?
Okay, but your YouTube channel is not accurate.
Okay, so I'm gonna read to you something interesting.
No, I want to read to you.
I'm gonna read. You can't. I'm the mod. I'm the mod. You see the mod? You see the power of the badge?
Well, you are the mod, but I'm gonna read.
Good luck reading from the audience. Like I care. Okay, this is called Chapter 1, A Sword is Drawn. For numberless centuries, society unquestioningly accepted the proposition that certain men were created to be slaves, whose natural function was to serve priests and kings, nobles and great lords, men of substance. Did I read all this already? Okay, this is called The Sword and the Serpent. But damn, my bowl is ablazing. This is a $150 book I just got in the mail, FYI. Let me see if Elon Musk is live. He is not live. He's playing Diablo 4 live. Oh, that's kind of cool. $3.7 thousand people are watching Elon Musk play Diablo 4. Okay, this is called Chapter 3, The Sword and the Serpent. This book is called Freedom is a Two-Edged Sword, Essays by John Parsons. Of all the strange and terrible powers among which we move unknowingly, sex is the most potent. Good, she left. Farewell.
Teams, sports programs. You know, there's a whole host of things that go into what an educational institution means to a community. Now, in some big urban areas like where you and me are from, you see a lot of failure at that level, a lot of bureaucracy, and a lot of, you know, dropout rates, and kids aren't learning, and you know, so there's a lot of that can be fixed. But for the most part, growing up, I mean, I'm probably a little bit older than a lot of people, but America was about creating cohesion from kindergarten through 12th grade, right? So that if it came down to you having to serve your country, you know, we did the Pledge of Allegiance, you know, we learned certain basic civics and loyalties of this country. And the K through 12 was there to keep you out of prison, was there to socialize you in such a way that when you left your family's house and you went on to college or not, or go on the workforce, you were a functioning member of society. And I think the United States, for a long time, got a lot of mileage out of public educational systems. And the rich and those who are, gifted or what have you, can go to the private schools and had options that way. But for the most part, I think the experiment has worked for a very long time. California alone, after World War II, was the educational model of America and the world, for that matter. The K through 12, the master plan for public education, all of that was built on the back of the public trust. And it worked, and it was succeeding and did really well for a very, very long time, and still does. So, there's a lot of success that we're still living off of that was implemented a long time ago.
California, wait, unless you're talking about the university system, California does not do well in education at all. I've talked to people in school systems, and even some of them maybe on this app, but it's bad. California is terrible.
It's gotten worse, yes. It's gotten worse, yes. But there's still a lot of successes. And I would say that the urban issues, Los Angeles alone has over 150 languages spoken here. So you have to have a way to integrate all these immigrants coming here. And a lot of times the school systems are behind and they're not advanced enough to address those and to backstop those issues, right? So, but the law says your kid has to be in school. For a lot of parents, school is a free form of babysitting, right? So they can go to work, right? They can keep the kids and occupied. Hopefully they're learning something and staying out of trouble. But for a lot of people who work here, they wouldn't be able to afford childcare otherwise if it were not for the school systems to put their kids into. So there's that aspect of the economy that provides. So. But for the most part, I think a lot of challenges. And the United States, as you know, it's always tracked the best and the brightest. It's always, there's always been the top 10 of every high school that goes on to do great things in college. And the rest are just they'll go to junior college or they'll go to the military or they'll get a job right out of college or high school, or they'll figure it out or they'll get married, start a family. So, it isn't always set up to let everybody become rock stars after high school. It's been set up for a very narrow, select few of accomplished.
The school systems were erected to be able to get people factory jobs, and we haven't really modernized it too much. The school district that I went to as a kid, Hayward Unified School District in East Bay, they had spent money, I don't remember how many years ago, it's a few years ago now, for woke kindergarten. I want to repeat that. It's like $250,000 that they gave to some third party group to come in to teach woke kindergarten. And they would have continued doing it if it wasn't for parents that mocked it, ridiculed it, and got it some media coverage that said, hey, this is just ridiculous. So, I don't know. So when a school district brings in woke kindergarten, would we want the federal government to tell them, hey, no woke kindergarten? That's ridiculous, or should we let that?
Well, I think that's a board sort of community decision that the community makes on behalf of those tax dollars. And I think if parents aren't in the boardrooms, board meetings screaming, bloody murder about their kid being exposed to that, then they think they have a free license to do it. So, liberal Bay Area, there's all kinds of things that are accepted up there, and parents don't think twice about it, right? Because they went to liberal colleges or they grew up around diversity, and so there is an overreach. Roger, I would agree, but I don't think that the federal government should necessarily go into a community and dictate what your tax dollars should be used for. I think the community should decide that and maybe vote on it, maybe have referendums. I don't know, maybe, but to try to ram that down a community's throat, I think is, not necessarily the way to go.
Do people feel like states should be able to discriminate against students with learning disabilities?
No.
Wait, against students what?
With learning disabilities.
I think it's just about resources, right? So for me, someone mentioned babysitting. I think part of the problem in our society is that we have allowed school to do these multi-functions, which includes babysitting. If we want babysitting to be part of government-provided service, that should be seen as a separate concern from schooling. And schooling should be about educating students to be as productive and useful and good citizens as they can be in the 21st century. So I think, to me, the learning disability thing goes a bit under the babysitting umbrella, probably, more than it does under the producing top, educated, productive people category. Because otherwise it's like, there's an enormous amount of resources that are going to, of education resources going to learning, and you're not getting a lot of bang for your buck. If you're dealing with someone with 70 IQ, you don't delude yourself that you're going to educate them to cure cancer. It's just not going to happen.
Is education a right?
I don't think it's a right, but I would be in favor of having more support for parents for childcare, so that they can go to work and otherwise be functional and so forth. I think we have the internet. I think even if you want to pretend it's a right, there's so much online, even Bernie Sanders would say yeah, we can massively reduce the cost of education by just giving people online tutorials to do. And for a very intelligent person, that is enough